U Sports on CBC. The road to the Canada Life Vanier Cup is brought to you in part by the Government of Canada, funding partner of U Sports. Nike, just do it. Wilson, the official football of U Sports. Fox 40, celebrating more than a decade of the Fox 40 U Sports Coach of the Year program. Thunderbirds, medical supply partner of varsity athletics since 1979. Barron, exclusive supplier of U Sports Championship rings. And by Canada Life, proud title partner of the 2023 Canada Life Vanier Cup, Saturday, November 25th at Queen's University in Kingston.
Thunderbirds Stadium on the University Endowment lands at UBC on this fair weather day for football in beautiful British Columbia. Today, the CanWest champion UBC Thunderbirds host the unbeaten St. Francis Xavier X-Men of the Atlantic Conference in the 21st Mitchell Bowl. While the X-Men make their third consecutive return to a bowl game, Deshaun, might this finally be their year when they break through and win? They face a resilient UBC team making its first return to a bowl game since they won the Vanier Cup in 2015.
Yeah, in the history of U Sports football, no AUS team has ever won a bowl game which required them to travel to the West. And now StFX is being tasked with having to travel 4 different time zones to compete today here in the Mitchell Bowl. But Mark, let's talk about the elephant in the room. No AUS team has won a Vanier Cup since 2002. In fact, no AUS team has been to a Vanier Cup since 2007. Can the X-Men be the first AUS team to advance to a national championship game in 17 years?
It'll be a tall order for the X-Men against UBC, which pulled off that thrilling last-second come-from-behind win last week in the Hardy Cup.
Yeah, they had 5 turnovers in the fourth quarter, and it's very rare that you'll ever see a team win a football game after turning the ball over so many times in the fourth quarter. But after a dramatic final 50 seconds, which featured a game-winning 95-yard drive, the Thunderbirds are back in the national stage for the first time since 2015.
UBC is a high-scoring team anchored by a big offensive line that's attracting all kinds of NFL attention.
Yeah, number 76, Giovanni Manu, number 72, Theo Benedict. These 2 men are Canada West All-Stars, and I think we both expect them to be 2023 All-Canadians. But the big story here is they are attracting immense attention from NFL teams. Over 15 teams have actually visited UBC this year to see these 2 men practice.
These big men protect their CanWest All-Star quarterback and Garrett Rooker, an American from League City, Texas.
Yeah, Garrett Rooker, he is a Texas kid who has blossomed beautifully into a Canada West All-Star. This season, he completed 70.2% of his passes, threw for 2,266 passing yards, as well as 16 touchdowns.
Well, UBC has had to come from behind in each of its last 2 playoff games to get here, and Coach Blake Nill says they've had a challenge.
You know, we've had to grind it out all year. We've found a way to win, a skill set that is necessary, and you know, hopefully that skill set will pay off again today.
Let's talk about StFX. They're on a remarkable run. They haven't been beaten in conference play in 3 consecutive years now, and they're led by their third-year quarterback, Silas Fagnon. For the second time in 3 years, he's been the conference most outstanding player.
Yeah, he's a 3-time AUS All-Star, as you said, the 2023 AUS MVP, and some might consider him to be the greatest quarterback in this program's history. This season, he completed 60.5% of his passes, threw for 2,075 passing yards, as well as 13 touchdowns.
But here's the big question for the X-Men. Their all-star running back, Malcolm Bussey, didn't play last week in the Loney Bowl. Apparently he has a high ankle sprain. His coach, Gary Waterman, says he'll give it a go today.
Yeah, and Bussey's been a huge part of their success over the last 3 seasons. He is also a 3-time AUS All-Star, as well as the 2022 AUS MVP. And this season, he had 1,038 rushing yards, as well as 8 touchdowns.
Well, as we mentioned, the X-Men have been here before, twice before in the last 2 years, and their coach, Gary Waterman, says they won't be intimidated.
Oh, there's no question about it. These guys just play. You know, I have so much pride in how their approach to football. I mean, it doesn't matter the circumstance all year long. They've handled any adversity thrown their way. And again, they're just going to, at the end of the day, just going to play a football game. Who plays the hardest and makes the fewest mistakes is the team that's going to do the best. And so that's just what we're going to try to do here, is just play hard and play the way that we normally play.
So the battle lines have been drawn. It's StFX and UBC in the 21st Mitchell Bowl. Stay with us. The kickoff is next when we come back to Vancouver.
was my greatest thrill when we just stood still. You let me hold your hand till I had my fill. Help you to see you through.
Whatever life looks like to you, we're here for it. For life as you know it. Insurance, investments, advice. Canada Life.
Back in Vancouver for the ceremonial coin toss before this Mitchell Bowl, and it is StFX winning the toss. Silas Fagnon, their quarterback, has deferred, and so UBC will receive the ball to start this Mitchell Bowl on home turf for the right to go to the Vanier Cup.
And we're going to get an early look at that UBC offense led by Garrett Rooker, Isaiah Knight, Sam Davenport, Shamar McBean, and they're going to go up against that StFX defense led by Dighton Black and Alex Futchin.
Ben Hadley will kick it off for StFX. Redner Bruckman is back to return for UBC. The ball is on Hadley's foot, and we're underway, the 21st Mitchell Bowl. UBC will start from their own 3-yard line and dig the ball out to the 19 to start this opening drive. As Garrett Rooker goes to work, he led the UBC offense this year, throwing for more than 2,200 yards, completing 70% of his passes.
Yeah, and one of his big targets there, you see Shamar McBean, third-year receiver as well, who's transferred beautifully over from track over to football. And look out for number 83, Sam Davenport, to see if he's going to be a target that they go to early on in the game. He's lined up there at the X position.
Rooker from League City, Texas. The flat pass to Isaiah Knight is incomplete on first down. Isaiah Knight, another all-star in this UBC lineup, the second leading rusher in the CanWest Conference this year, facing a defense led by the sackmaster Alex Futchin.
Yeah, Futchin had 6.5 sacks this season, and he's actually StFX's all-time leader, career leader in sacks.
2nd and 10, UBC. Rooker in the shotgun. With time, he'll drop it across the middle to Isaiah Knight. The big running back turns upfield, and he'll have a big first down on the play. The first of the game for the Thunderbirds on a 16-yard catch and run.
Yeah, and Isaiah Knight's a really talented running back. He actually had 206 receiving yards as well this year, in addition to a 787 rushing yards. So look for him to be all over the field today, making a big impact for Garrett Rooker and that UBC offense.
Isaiah Knight rushing for 787 yards, number 2 behind Matthew Peterson of Alberta on the ground in CanWest this year. First down, UBC at their own 35. Handoff is to Knight. Knight up the middle into traffic, and there's the first big test between this giant offensive line from UBC and that front 4 from StFX.
Yeah, you can see that UBC offense is testing that StFX defensive line early, giving the ball to Isaiah Knight 3 times, seeing what Alex Futchin and that D-line have up against that big offensive line in Giovanni Manu and Theo Benedict.
It's a gain of 2 on the play for Knight. 2nd and 8, Thunderbirds. One of the most prolific passing attacks in the country this year. And they'll go to the air. It's Rooker looking downfield. Redner Bruckman is wide open, but he loses his footing and falls to the turf just shy of the 35. Otherwise, he was gone.
Yeah, this was UBC's big first pass of the day. And if you look, Number 72, Dane Blackie, who normally drops back into pass coverage, was actually blitzing on that play, and so that left the middle of the field wide open. Those DBs are on an island with those receivers, and Redner Brooklyn got behind his DB and was able to haul that in, and he tripped up himself there, but that would have been a touchdown if he'd gotten away.
That was Brandon Martin, the AUS All-Star, who lost his footing, and then Redner Brookman wide open for the catch. Rooker, play action. He'll keep the ball himself, and he'll slide after a gain of 5. There's contact and a flag on the play.
Yeah, one of the more underrated things about Rooker, and you see him holding his hand there, are his legs. He's actually a fast quarterback. He's mobile, and he can leave the pocket, extend the play with his legs. There you see on the read option, takes the outside and slides, takes a hit. Let's see what this penalty is.
Brendan Murphy is our referee this afternoon. So an unnecessary roughness penalty to StFX will add 15 yards to the carry by Garrett Rooker and put UBC in the red zone at the StFX 14-yard line.
And if you're UBC, this is actually how you want to start the game, right? Your first drive, your first possession, you're already almost in red zone. You see Garrett Rooker there kind of grimacing his hand. Let's see if he is healthy on this next play.
Left hand ring finger looked like the injury for Rooker. He'll hand off to Isaiah Knight. Knight driving a pile of humanity for a short gain of 3 on the play, close to the 10-yard line.
In StFX's recent national championship semifinal appearances, one of the big things for them has always been their game in the trenches. They've always lost the game in the trenches. So UBC is really testing them in the trenches today, running the ball and seeing how their D-line holds up against their O-line.
2nd and 6, UBC. Play action pass. Rooker rolling to his left. He'll throw to the end zone. Davenport diving. He's got it. Touchdown, UBC. Sam Davenport, the hero 1 week ago, catching that touchdown pass from Rooker with no time on the clock, leading to the point after and the 1-point win over Alberta.
And you see the play
puts UBC on the board.
Play action to Isaiah Knight, right to Davenport, who ran the out and was able to beat the DB, was able to beat Brandon Martin, and hauling that touchdown. It's really reminiscent of that game-winning touchdown he actually caught last week, but that's a great start for UBC. This is how you want to start the game.
Point after from Kieran Flannery Fleck is good, and the Thunderbirds drive for 7. Sam Davenport, the transfer from Simon Fraser University, hits the end zone to start this Mitchell Bowl.
Hey U Sports fans, check out shop.usports.ca for this week's promotional item from the Nike Team Collection. Visitez le shop.usport.ca pour en profiter de la promotion de la semaine de la collection Nike Team.
Unbelievable! History has repeated itself!
Get the stories behind the glory. Watch, listen, stream, read CBC Sports.
It was my greatest thrill when we just stood still. You let me hold your hand till I had my fill. It helped you to see you through.
Whatever life looks like to you, we're here for it. For life as you know it. Insurance, investments, advice. Canada Life.
Sam Davenport, who led UBC with 93 yards a game receiving, has them on the board with his first touchdown pass of this Mitchell Bowl. Flannery Fleck to kick off to UBC. It will be Ben Harrington with the return, the all-purpose yards all-star and receiving all-star for StFX. He'll bring the ball just across the 26-yard line, where Silas Fagnon. And the X-Men offense will go to work. Fagnon of Bonnyville, Alberta, was the most outstanding player in the AUS conference this year. He is in his 3rd year as a starting quarterback and has been an all-star all 3 seasons.
Yeah, and in addition to Silas Fagnon, we're going to get our first look at Malcolm Bussey, who missed last week's Lonely Bowl with a high ankle sprain. We're going to see if he's good to go.
Bussey in the backfield on first down for the X-Men. Their 1,000-yard rusher. They'll pass on first down, wide open, and dropped. Zach Hood, their best receiver, their deep man, was wide open but couldn't make the catch.
Very uncharacteristic of Zachary Hood. And we have a look here at the defense. This defense is led by Ryan Baker, number 14, who used to actually be a quarterback and almost started for UBC back in 2019, made the transfer over to linebacker, and is now an all-Canadian linebacker. He's going to be a huge part of this UBC defense today in stopping that StFX passing attack.
Ryan Baker, the playmaker in that UBC defense. 2nd and 10 for the X-Men after that missed opportunity. Fagnon in the pocket, has time, gets it away to Hood. He'll hold on to the ball, but he'll be short of the first down as Mitchell Townsend and this great linebacking core for UBC hold up the X-Man receiver. So it'll be a punting situation for StFX. Mitchell Townsend can't get enough accolades from his head coach Blake Nill. He was so euphoric talking about his linebacker, who's all over the football field. You'll see him line up on the line of scrimmage and back in his middle linebacker position.
And Mitchell Townsend wasn't even a Canada West All-Star this year, yet he was one of the most important linebackers on one of the best defenses in the country.
Max Capriotti to punt for StFX. An average of 41.8 yards this year. Redner Brookman will let it bounce twice. He'll take the ball and step out of bounds at his 32-33 yard line. So the X-Men unable to match a scoring drive from UBC in their opening. Go back to work, UBC does, at their own 32. They'll start this 2nd drive of the football game.
And we're going to get another look at Garrett Rooker, who's grimacing his hand on that first drive. We're going to get another look at if he wants to spread the ball out a little bit more, if they're going to go back to the run, go back to Isaiah Knight, keep it on the ground. That first drive for UBC was really, really good. You wouldn't want to start a game any other way. Let's see what they come out with on this 2nd possession.
Motion in the Thunderbird backfield, 4 to the wide side. They'll hand off to Isaiah Knight. Knight jumping his way through the interior of that StFX defense for a gain of 5 on the play. The international relations student from Ottawa says he wouldn't mind returning home someday to work on Parliament Hill.
Yeah, and there's going to be a lot of attention on Giovanni Manu, number 76, and Theo Bed, number 72, but also Lucas Robertson, number 82. He's one of the best blockers in the Canada West Conference, and that's why he was an all-star this season as well.
2nd and 5, UBC. Davenport is wide open across the middle. Sam Davenport makes the catch, and he'll have a UBC first down at the UBC 49-yard line. A gain of 12 yards on the play.
You know, Mark, I think we talked about earlier how Sam Davenport reminds us a lot of former Western Mustang receiver Harry McMaster.
Yeah.
Right? He's not the greatest athlete, but he does his job well. He finds holes and he's able to complete those plays just like he just did on first down.
Sam Davenport, as I mentioned, transferring from Simon Fraser after their program was folded. Stevenson Bone, the offensive coordinator, really had to make a pitch to Blake Neal to get him here because Blake Neal said, I didn't want this to be a dumping ground for SFU players. UBC will stay on the ground, and rumbling for 9 up the middle is Isaiah Knight.
Yeah, and that ground game continues to roll, right? On that first drive, you were able to see Isaiah Knight had much success, not only out of the backfield, but also being able to catch a few passes as well. If it's working, keep going to it, right? You see Isaiah Knight following Giovanni Manu, finding some holes, and is able to pick up a few yards on that play.
2nd and a long one for Blake Nill, and this accomplished 3-time Vanier Cup champion, head coach of the UBC Thunderbirds. The handoff is to Knight on 2nd and 1, breaks the first tackle, and he'll have the first down. David McGill got his hands on Knight, but not enough to slow this UBC running back.
That was the 2nd time in a row they handed the ball to Isaiah Knight, and I believe that's the 5th time Isaiah Knight has carried the ball, and we're only a few minutes into the game. You can see this UBC offense is going to the ground. McGill was able to get in there. Knight broke the tackle, and of course it was Josh Connors able to finish up the play, but you see what UBC is going for here. They're going to keep ground and pounding that ball up until StFX is able to actually stop them.
Double tight end formation. On first down, play action. Rooker loading up, throwing deep downfield. Incomplete. Intended for Mark Webb, the first-year art student from Ottawa.
And you see finally Garrett Rooker was able to actually go back to the air there, of course, utilize that play action. One of the first deep shots we've seen in the game. And Mark Webb, listen, he had a pretty good end of the season there. He was able to come in for Sam Davenport when Sam Davenport got injured against Manitoba in the Hardy Cup semifinal. And Mark Webb's been able to make some plays for this football team and prove to be of immense value.
Tom Bentley, the field cornerback, scrambling to help break up that deep ball to make it 2nd and 10 for UBC, and they've called a timeout. Let's talk about Garrett Rooker from League City, Texas. Many people wondering what's an American quarterback from Texas doing in Canada. It's really an incredible story. He played in Tier 1 6A football in Texas. That's about as good as it gets anywhere in U.S. high school football. But his dad is a professor of marine biology at Texas A&M, and he's been sending PhD students to UBC to study. And he said, you know, son, you need to go to that school. It's one of the best in the world, and get a good education and still play football. He took his dad's advice, and here he is leading this UBC team one game away from the Vanier Cup.
Yeah, and Garrett Rooker, he's also a kinesiology student, and we got to mention he has the high student at UBC, and UBC has one of the best kinesiology programs in North America. So you're looking at one of the top kinesiology students in North America playing at quarterback for the UBC Thunderbirds.
He's got it all. He was also a top basketball player. I mean, he was getting D1 offers in basketball and football. He came to UBC. 2nd and 10. Rooker rolling now to the wide side of the field. Time, he'll throw to the sideline. It's caught. It'll be short of the first down. Dane Kapler making the catch. But they'll be short, and a punt situation as Rooker leaves the field.
And if I'm StFX, I'm saying, hey, this is good. We were able to stop UBC on their second drive. First drive, it seemed like they were able to get downfield with ease, and we were able to slow them down the second drive, stop the run, and our secondary was able to tighten up and prevent them from making any big plays on this drive. So good job by StFX.
Kieran Flannery-Fleck back to punt for UBC, has a 40.6-yard average. What a trail he's been on. He started at Queens, didn't make it there, transferred to Carleton, didn't crack the lineup there, and here he is on his 3rd team at UBC. He's an all-star this year, and he's in a bowl game to boot.
He also kicked the game-winning extra point last week in the Hardy Cup to defeat Alberta. So he's been a huge player for them. And, you know, early on in the season when they were just getting a hold of their offense and getting into a groove, Kieran Flannery-Fleck was really the one to able to bail them out in some of those early games. Talk about Regina having 19 points. He's been a huge impact maker for them and has really helped them tighten up on their special teams.
Late flag on the play. StFX has declined it, forcing UBC to punt on this 3rd down situation. High, beautiful spiraling punt to the side of the field. Harrington will catch it at his 10-yard line and advance 2 yards where he steps out of bounds. So Silas Fanyon, the most outstanding player in the AUS, back to work when we come back.
They don't do it for the likes or for the shares. They do it for the fun of it, for the thrill, for the camaraderie, for the memories. CBC Sports, just because they love it.
It was my greatest thrill when we just stood still. You let me hold your hand till I had my fill. Help you to see you through.
Whatever life looks like to you, we're here for it. For life as you know it. Insurance, investments, advice. Canada Life.
Silas Vanier and the X-Men back to work on offense. This is a potent offense. Averaged 35 points a game in the AUS this year. Second in U Sports, second only to Western. First down at their own 12. Hand off to Malcolm Bussey. Bussey, their big 1,000-yard rusher, is stacked up right at the line of scrimmage. Lots of speculation about his fitness coming back here today after missing the Loney Bowl 1 week ago with a suspected high ankle sprain.
Yeah, and StFX just wanted to give him a look early on at least, and you were able to see Ryan Baker and Mitchell Townsend were able to just read that off the jump, and they were able to come off the edge and really close up that hole and stop Bussey from making any gain.
The 2nd and 9, Bussey wearing 27, the number his grandfather Ken wore back at StFX when he was a Hall of Fame running back. Passing down, Fagnon. It's incomplete, intended for Hood. That's the 3rd target for Zach Hood in this football game. He's had 1 catch, so 3rd and 9. And the X-Men will be forced to punt from their end zone.
Many people believe that Zachary Hood is actually one of the best receivers in the nation. And so what StFX is trying to do here is they're really trying to get him warm early. Trying to get him some touches, feed the hot hand, because they know that when they need him the most, he's going to need to be the one to make those plays if they intend to make this a close game. So they're just trying to get him the ball early and keep him warm.
Does Capriotti concede a safety here? He's right at the goal line. He will punt it from his 3. It's a shank, end over end. It's dropped by McBean. He'll fall on the football at the StFX 48-yard line.
Shades of last week in the Vanier Cup when the UBC Thunderbirds had 9 turnovers last week, eh?
UBC on offense when we come back.
It was my greatest thrill when we just stood still. You let me hold your hand till I had my fill. Help you to see you through.
Whatever life looks like to you, we're here for it. For life as you know it. Insurance, investments, advice. Canada Life.
7-0 UBC early in this 21st Mitchell Bowl, and they start this drive on the StFX side of center at the 48-yard line. Rooker fakes the handoff, throws up the sideline. Shamar McBean makes the catch for a first down. McBean with that thrilling 63-yard reception to start that 95-yard final drive victory in the final 52 seconds last week.
Yeah, that was the catch that saved the season, because that was the catch that really put UBC in range to complete that touchdown pass to Sam Davenport to win the game. But let's talk about how StFX punted the ball from their own 1-yard line. That means they have confidence in their defense, and they have confidence in their ability to stop this UBC offense. So let's see if they can carry that confidence over to this next drive.
First down. Hand off to Knight, big hole. Isaiah Knight lowers the boom. And he's dropped by the safety, Chris Lemoyne, in the red zone.
And again, if you can't stop him, if something's not broken, no need to fix it. You see right there, Lucas Robertson had a huge block up the middle. And listen, this UBC offensive line that features 2 NFL prospects as well as a Canada West All-Star is making big ways for Isaiah Knight, and they're taking advantage of it. And right now, they're already in the red zone.
First and 10 for the Thunderbirds. At the 15, they stay on the ground. Knight with a big hole up the middle. He'll have a gain of 5. Make it 2nd and 5.
And you're starting to see a pattern here, right? You're starting to see Garrett Rooker hand the ball off to Isaiah Knight once, twice, and then, on the 3rd time, pull and look for receivers downfield. You're starting to see them develop a rhythm and force StFX to respect the run so they can set up the pass.
StFX allowed just 97 yards per game rushing in the AUS this year, but facing this massive NFL-rated offensive line from UBC, they're getting pushed around early. Play action on 2nd and 5. The ball is away. It's caught. Touchdown. Dane Kapler with the 2nd major of the football game for UBC.
And there you go. Like I said, hand the ball to Isaiah Knight once, hand it off twice, force that StFX defense to respect the run. And then on that 3rd try, play action to Isaiah Knight, pull back. Dane Kapler runs that comeback, catches it, and he has a bunch of cushion to create his own play and run into the end zone for that touchdown.
Dane Kapler from Ventura, California. Big man who plays at tight end and running back. The point after from Vanier Cup is good. It's a 14-0 early lead for UBC on their home field. Kapler, one of a handful of Americans, including Rooker and a few others in this lineup. Jaden Phillips, or rather Isaac Ellison, is from Everett, Washington. They have about 4 Americans that have managed to make their way into Blake Nill's lineup.
You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of this year's Windsor Lancers team, right? And JP Cercelli and how they're able to recruit in the States and bring up Americans as well. And you've seen a lot of success that way.
17 Americans were dressing in the final weeks of that Windsor football season.
Yeah, the way that program's been able to rebuild itself, impressive.
Vanier Cup to kick off. Ben Harrington will receive this kickoff from his own 10-yard line. The AUS double all-star as a receiver and returner is dropped at the StFX 26-yard line. Silas Vanier has had 3 years as the starter. He's been in the program for 5. That COVID year gave him a year to learn the system, to come of age, so to speak, and all 3 years he's managed to get his team to a bowl game. As we take a look at the StFX offense, 7th in the country through the air, 9th on the ground, but putting up almost 450 yards a game of offense. Vanier from Bonnyville, Alberta. Fires to the short side. It's complete. Zachariah Kareem making the catch, and that's a big return for the X-Men. Kareem, who missed 6 games this year after playing just the first 2 and getting injured, has come back in the playoffs here to help bolster the receiving corps.
Yeah, Kareem's been a part of this program's success over the last 3 seasons. He's also a former AUS All-Star, and he actually participated in the Ottawa Red Blacks training camp last year. So to get him back in time for this playoff push is extremely huge. He's actually one of the more respected receivers in the AUS.
Yes, a free agent signing of the Red Blacks last summer. 2nd and 5. StFX looking for that elusive first down. It's complete to Zachary Hood, and he'll have a big first down in front of his bench across the 50-yard line.
If you're StFX, this is what you want. You want to continue to build that connection between Vanier and Hood early on in this game because you're going to need it late in the game. It's good to see Hood get that pass, bring it down, run up the sidelines, and get the first down. This StFX offense is now slowly but surely beginning to move.
22-yard gain on the pass and run to Hood, who led the country this year with 110 yards receiving per game. First down near midfield. X-Men. Vanier will run up. He'll drop his shoulders and have a good gain of 6 on the play. So 2nd and 4 as he readjusts his helmet, running into the teeth of that UBC defense.
Yeah, and you can see Mitchell Townsend moved over to the field side and created a hole as he was in contained, and Silas Vanier took advantage of that, used his legs, and kind of tried to rush for that first down.
Townsend and Jackson Cirillo Brown making the tackle. 2nd and 4. X-Men marching here. Vanier rolling to his left. He'll get rid of the ball. It's complete for another first down. They move the sticks as Devon Blackwood makes the catch. His first of the game.
And now if you're StFX, you're saying, listen, we're 2 for 2 on this drive, right? 2 completed passes, a first down run with Silas Vanier, getting it to Devon Blackwood, spreading out the ball. This is what you want if you're StFX, to slow down the game, take control, and slowly march up the field.
Vanier first in the AUS in passing per game, touchdowns with 13, more than 2,000 through the air. On first down, rolling right. It's complete to Blackwood. Devon Blackwood will step out of bounds at the UBC 36-yard line. Gain of 6 on the play, and Vanier now has this offense clicking.
Yeah, and you can see he's using his legs. He's rolling out. He's looking at Devon Blackwood, spreading the ball. That's Blackwood's second reception of the game, second in a row. So you can see Silas Vanier has that confidence, and this team is marching slowly down the field.
First and 10 at the UBC 36-yard line. X-Men down by 14 early. Here comes the backside blitz. They'll hand off to Malcolm Bussey. He'll break the first tackle, step away from the second, and have a first down. Jason Soriano had a shot at him, but Bussey showing his power as the great veteran returns to form.
Yeah, he's an AUS All-Star for a reason, right? Being able to break the tackle from Jason Soriano, who's a converted receiver to DB. And if you're StFX, this is what you want to see from your All-Star running back, being able to break a tackle, right, rush for a first down, take a hit, and get back up and look just fine.
First and 10, X-Men at the UBC 28-yard line. Vanier back to pass across the middle. Hood goes up for it. He's got it inside the 10. A spin move, and he's finally hauled down by Cirello Brown at the UBC 5-yard line.
What's interesting that I'm seeing right now is that Blake Nill is actually having Mitchell Townsend at the mic. He's dropping back into coverage, and he's the one reading Silas Vanier. Normally that's Baker, so let's see if they'll make an adjustment here into the second quarter.
Final play of the first quarter, they'll change ends with the Thunderbirds up by 2 touchdowns.
It was my greatest thrill when we just stood still. You let me hold your hand till I had my fill. Help you to see you through.
Whatever life looks like to you, we're here for it. For life as you know it. Insurance, investments, advice. Canada Life.
Gary Waterman and the StFX X-Men first and goal at the UBC 6-yard line as we start this second quarter. Harrington lined up in the backfield with Bussey and Vanier. The handoff is to Harrington. He'll go wide. He's got daylight. Can he get there? He's knocked down at the 3-yard line. Ryan Baker makes the tackle at linebacker for UBC.
If you're StFX, you actually feel pretty good about this drive. You see that handoff there to Harrington, and you see Baker is able to chase him down. If you're StFX, you feel good. You're 4 for 4 through the air. You have a first down run from Bussey. You have a first down run from Vanier, and you're in the red zone. You're within the 10. You feel good if you're StFX right now.
Second and goal from the 4-yard line, so a 2-yard gain. Baker making the tackle. You mentioned he's a former quarterback. He was going to start this team at quarterback in 2019. Then he got sick with mono and COVID, and it really short-circuited his plans. But Baker is a player you'll see all over the football field. Had a touchdown, the fumble recovery for a touchdown against Alberta last week in the Hardy Cup. So 2nd and goal.
And you know what? It worked out well because with Baker getting sick and then having Garrett Rooker come in to be the starting quarterback, you were able to switch Baker over to linebacker. He becomes an all-Canadian. You see here in the first quarter, 9 first downs from UBC compared to 3 first downs from StFX, but StFX has been able to move the ball. But you also see UBC's been able to hold on to that ball. That run game with Isaiah Knight, they've been chewing away at that clock and really slowing down the game. And when it comes to total yardage, they're pretty compared. They're pretty evened up there.
Jason Soriano is being aided and helped off the field. There's another guy who switched positions. In week 5, he went from being a wide receiver to a defensive back and starting in this secondary for UBC.
And the crazy thing is he still comes in on offense every now and then, and sometimes he returns kicks.
Two-way player. So 2nd and goal for Silas Fenya and the StFX X-Men. A good-looking drive here early in the second quarter. Trying to keep pace with Rooker and the powerhouse Thunderbird offense. Caleb Fogarty has come into the game now at running back for Malcolm Bussey. He rushed for 107 and a touchdown last week in the Loney Bowl. 2nd and goal. Fenya will dodge the rush, head for the end zone, diving, touchdown! Baker on the tackle, but not in time.
What a drive from StFX. What a drive. If you're the X-Men, this is how you want to start. What a drive. You went 6 for 6 through the air. You had your first down run from Bussey. You had your first down run from Fanyan. And then you have now your touchdown run where Fanyan's able to go through his reads, notice the open hole, right? And be able to beat Baker to the end zone to put 6 on the board. That's how you want to start the game.
Quarterback on quarterback. Baker has the tackle 2 yards from the goal line. But Fenya had the desire to get in.
Number 13 beat number 14.
There you go. Ben Hadley with a point after. It's good. So the X-Men are back in this football game. Down 14-7 as Silas Fenya mixing up that drive, passing, running.
And Gary Waterman told us they're not phased. This team is fearless. This is their 3rd consecutive national semifinal. They're only the 2nd team since the turn of the century to do that. Another look here at Fanya's touchdown. Like you said, he was able to beat Baker to the end zone. But this StFX team, they have no fear. They don't care about past losses or anything like that. They care about the right now. And that's what Gary Waterman expressed to us the most when we were able to speak with him.
Well, I'm sure they've heard the talk, right, that the AUS just doesn't measure up. They've had trouble the last 2 years, blown out by Western 2 years ago, and they were in the game until the 4th quarter last year against Saskatchewan before falling to defeat. But this man, Gary Waterman, a 6-time AUS Coach of the Year, a U Sports Coach of the Year, has fashioned a confidence and a desire to win on this football team. He's telling us he has scouted the last 10 years of championship bowl winners in this country to find out what makes them tick and try to rub that off. Here's McBean on the return, and he's blown up by Josh Connors. Whoa, what a hit from the middle linebacker from Toronto.
Josh Connors, their AUS All-Star middle linebacker, 53 tackles this year, 2.5 sacks. He's an all-round athlete, and you can see he just picked up momentum and it was able to deliver a lick to Shamar McBean, which knocked down McBean. And McBean's he's a very great athlete. And he has a lot of size on him to be able to knock him down. That means Josh Connors coming with some velocity there.
Sorry, Deshaun Connors, an AUS All-Star at linebacker this year. First down, UBC. Inside their 25, McBean on the bubble screen, and he's cut down immediately. Nathan Kayouet makes the tackle for the X-Men.
Yeah, and you can see they went to a screen, giving it to Shamar McBean off the screen, and Kayouet was able to just read that out. And Kayouet's, he's a very fast twitch halfback all over the field. One forced fumble, 1 interception this season, 29 tackles. He's everywhere, so able to see him kind of read that out and shut that down.
3rd-year veteran from Strathmore, Alberta, with a big tackle and a 3-yard loss. 2nd and 13, UBC. There's time across the middle. And Dane Kapler makes the catch. It'll be short of a first down, 4 yards short. So a gain of 9 by Kapler, who's been featured in this UBC offense early.
And the offensive line did an amazing job of protecting Garrett Rooker, and he was able to go through his reads and find Dave Kapler sitting there on the check down on that comeback route.
3rd and 4, Rooker leaves the field. And Kieran Flannery Fleck will punt. With 40-yard average this year for the native of Ottawa, and he shanks another one. It'll bounce out of bounds. 9-yard line. So good field position for the X-Men as they go back on offense, buoyed by that touchdown drive.
Yeah, if you're StFX, that is 2 drives now, which you have stopped UBC's offense. You just had a drive where you're able to score on offense. The momentum is kind of on your side. This is where StFX wants to be, and now they're at midfield with a chance to tie this game.
Fanion came from Tier 3 high school football in small-town Bonnyville, population 5,000. Quite a contrast from the Texas leaguer in Rooker, and that's the matchup here today. StFX doesn't like what they see, and so a timeout called by Gary Waterman. Waterman, what a trip, what a road trip we talked about. These guys flew here on Thursday, a 6.5-hour flight from Halifax to Vancouver, and they lost a full day of practice because of it.
Yeah, they were able to only practice on Friday, and you talk about the road trip. That's the longest possible road trip you can make in U Sports football. You're going from Nova Scotia to Vancouver. That's as long as it gets. So you can imagine when they probably flew in extremely tired, extremely in need of rest, but they were able to get that rest, practice on Friday, and get ready for this game today on Saturday.
That's like flying from Toronto to Central Europe.
Yeah,
you know, like
literally.
It's such a trip, you know, 4 time zones, 5,000 kilometers, but they've adjusted. Even got their homework done, according to the coach.
Student athlete, right?
Yeah. So 1st and 10 for the X-Men from their own 47-yard line. Caleb Fogarty has come back into the game at running back for X. Play action fake to Fogarty. Fenya down the middle. Oh, incomplete. Off the fingers of Kareem. Just a little behind him, but he should have had it.
Yeah, you know what? UBC brought the heat on that play. But again, if you're X, it's okay. Because Kareem was open. He should have caught that ball. You still feel good, right? Kareem just needs to be able to come down with those passes. If he comes down with those passes, you're looking at a first down. So if you're X, you're not shook. You still feel good.
Perhaps hearing some footsteps from Gerald Cummings. Cummings, the other SFU transfer, he plays the boundary lockdown corner. 2nd and 10. Fagno fires it across the middle. It's complete right at the first down marker. Hood loses the ball as he's wrestled to the turf. Ryan Baker says he's got it. What's the ruling here? UBC says it's their ball. Hood says he's down. The officials will conference. Right at that first down marker.
Let's talk about how Zachary Hood was able to actually catch that pass in such traffic. Come down with that pass. We'll see if this is a fumble or not, but that was a pretty
It's
impressive
UBC
pass.
football.
Wow.
Pass intended for number 88.
Ryan Baker, the big playmaker, once again on that football for UBC. So Hood had what looked like an X first down, fumbles the football, turns it over to UBC. And they're back on offense when we return to the Mitchell Bowl in Vancouver.
Hey, U Sports fans, check out shop.usports.ca for this week's promotional item from the Nike Team Collection. Visitez le shop.usport.ca pour en profiter de la promotion de la semaine de la collection Nike Team.
Unbelievable! History has repeated itself!
Get the stories behind the glory. Watch, listen, stream, read CBC Sports.
It was my greatest thrill when we just stood still. You let me hold your hand till I had my fill. It helped you to see you through.
Whatever life looks like to you, we're here for it. For life as you know it. Insurance, investments, advice. Canada Life.
Here's another look at the Zach Hood reception and then fumble. Looked like his leg was down on the turf, but hard to tell there. But they do rule it a fumble. And so it's first down UBC at their own 52. They hand off to Isaiah Knight. Knight driving his legs. He'll have a gain of about 5. That's been about his average up the gut.
Yeah, and on UBC's last drive on offense, the passing attack wasn't really working, and they were able to go 2 and out. StFX was able to force them 2 and out, so they're going back to their bread and butter, handing it off to Isaiah Knight, sticking with the ground and pound.
2nd and 5 after the 5-yard pickup by Knight. Play action, rolling away from the blitz. Intended for Dane Kapler. He's got it. And pushed out of bounds with another first down at the 28-yard line.
Yeah, and StFX dropped Dighton Black, number 72, back into coverage. And listen, he just got beat, and that happened. But he's one of their most impressive linebackers, one of their better coverage linebackers. But Dan Kapler was able to just beat Black and find that hole and haul in that pass for the first down.
First down after that 25-yard gain through the air to Dane Kapler. UBC will stay on the ground. Knight with the carry, bounces outside the tackle, and he's wrapped up on the play by the Will linebacker Dighton Blackett, but there's a flag on the play back in the UBC backfield.
We'll see what the flag is, but again, Dighton Blackett, we just saw him drop back into coverage, and then we just saw him stop the run. Impressive.
Replay first down.
The holding call against the Thunderbirds. And that will come from the original line of scrimmage. The 10-yard penalty will make it 1st and 20.
And you're starting to see this StFX front 7 really get into a groove and stiffen up when they're going up against that UBC front 5. They're able to stop the run, limit Isaiah Knight to 4 or 5 yards to carry as opposed to 10 or 12.
So Knight stays in the backfield on 1st and 20. They'll hand off to Knight. Big hole. He zigzags his way and drives right into Dighton Blackett and pops his helmet off. The Will linebacker holds on and limits Knight to a 7-yard gain. Make it 2nd and 13. That Will linebacker is a real fixture. Blackett is in this defense.
Yeah, when you take Isaiah Knight's size and speed into consideration, that was actually a touchdown saving tackle by Dighton Blackett.
Blackwood, they like to move him around. They'll move him into coverage. They'll bring him back into the box. He's a key, no question, for UBC's quarterback. 2nd and 13, 4-man rush. Lots of time. Rooker now rolls right, throws it to right at the 20, but he'll be shy of the first down by about 2 yards on the play.
What's extremely impressive right now is the amount of time that Garrett Rooker has in the pocket. He's able to go through his reads once, even go through his reads twice, scan the field, run, extend the play, and get it out to Isaiah Knight. Right, and so the longer the play goes, the less favorable it is for the secondary.
3rd and 2 officially as they spot that ball. And the backup quarterback, Derek Engel from Grapevine, Texas, near Dallas, will come in on this 3rd down gamble. They need 2. Engel will hand off up the gut. And it's Kapler, who's been the Swiss Army knife for this UBC offense, has the first down, bulldozing his way into the red zone.
So far, you've seen Kapler catch short passes, deep passes, a touchdown, and now a 3rd down conversion, receiving the handoff. He's kind of doing it all for UBC in this first half.
He wasn't much of a factor last week in the Loney Bowl, playing behind the All-Star Lucas Robertson, the other big tight end. Tight end and running back. Engel stays at quarterback. In a twin tight formation, they hand it off to Kapler, trying to use their size and power up the middle, and he'll drive the ball to the X-11-yard line.
Feed the hot hand, and when you have that offensive line with 2 NFL prospects, plus a Canada West All-Star and Lucas Robertson at tight end, then I could see why Blake Mills continuously handing the ball to Gain Kapler, putting it in his hand and making him chew up those yards and tire out this StFX front 7.
2nd and 5, Kapler weighs in at 200 pounds. He's got tackles in Manu at 6'8", 350. Benedette at 6'7", 305. It's a massive O-line. And they've got Robertson on the left side at tight end. That's where they'll go. Play action, though. And Rooker will be downed at the 10. And it'll be 3rd and 3. So some tough going as the Thunderbirds try to crush the football on the ground.
Yeah, this is actually a pretty good stand for StFX on defensive side. If you were able to see, and I think Rooker might be grimacing again, Josh Connors was able to get in there and kind of blow up any potential handoff on that play, and the line was able to do their job in stopping Garrett Rooker. So again, another good stand for StFX defense. They're doing their job. They're slowing down this UBC offense.
Kieran Flannery-Fleck is in to attempt this field goal. Engel will hold at the 17-yard line on the right hash mark. Flannery-Fleck good on 90% of his field goal attempts this year to lead the Can West Conference. It's up and good. So the Thunderbirds will settle for a field goal after driving deep inside the X red zone and a 17-7 lead.
They don't do it for the likes or for the shares. They do it for the fun of it, for the thrill, for the camaraderie, for the memories. CBC Sports, just because they love it.
It was my greatest thrill when we just stood still. You let me hold your hand till I had my fill. Help you to see you through.
Whatever life looks like to you, we're here for it. For life as you know it. Insurance, investments, advice. Canada Life.
Well, look at this score. A final from the Uteck Bowl as the Mustangs go down 29-3 to the Montreal Carabins. The Mustangs with 8 turnovers, 2 on downs, interceptions, fumbles. It killed them against that tough defense of the Carabins. So StFX will take the football at their own 35 instead of a kickoff after the Flannery-Fleck field goal. The handoff is to Bussey, and he'll have a gain of 5 up the middle. Interesting that they took him off the field on 2nd and goal on their last drive.
Yeah, it looks like they're load managing Malcolm Bussey. They know he's not healthy. They know he's not 100%, but they know they're going to need him if they want to have a shot at winning this game. So they're definitely going to be rotating Bussey in and out with Fogarty throughout this game.
Jason Soriano has come back into the game after being shaken up earlier. The field halfback position. 2nd and 5 for Fenya and the X-Men. Against a 3-man rush. Ball across the middle, and Hood is drilled and separated from the football. Max Kennedy with a big hit from his safety position to separate Hood and the football.
And Maka Bangura stayed on Hood, and Kennedy came down and laid the lick. It was really great coverage by that UBC secondary, and you know, with Bangura staying on Hood and Kennedy coming down, they were able to break up that play.
Kennedy, a 3rd-year art student from Port Moody, BC, with that big blow-up to force Max Capriati to punt for the X-Men, standing at his own 26. Kicks a high spiral, a deep ball that sends McBean all the way back inside his 15-yard line. Shamar McBean cuts upfield, and he'll be felled immediately by Brandon Martin of Melfort, Saskatchewan, the 4th-year education student at StFX.
I'm curious to see on this next drive how UBC really sets up their offense. Are they going to go back to the ground and pound that they saw earlier, which had success with Isaiah Knight and Dane Kepler? Is Garrett Rooker going to go straight to just airing it out? I'm really curious to see what they're going to go to, what Blake Mill is feeling on this next drive.
Big punt from Capriati, the AUS All-Star, to push UBC back inside their 20. 55-yard punt from Capriati.
That was so unnecessary.
They'll stay on the ground. Isaiah Knight with a quick move to get around Fedchin. He'll break the tackle and across the 20 to the 23-yard line for a gain of about 6.
Handed off to Isaiah Knight, settle things down. They had success when it comes to running with Isaiah Knight to help make StFX respect the run to set up the pass. He got kind of caught up in the backfield there, was able to find a hole and gain some ground, and of course Brandon Martin was able to finish the play with that tackle.
Isaiah Knight averaged 112 yards a game this year on the ground. He'll take the fake. Rooker in trouble. He throws the football away to avoid the sack. So that's the first time we've seen UBC really looking a little cross-eyed.
Yeah, and it's very uncharacteristic of UBC's offense, very uncharacteristic of Garrett Rooker, to be honest. I'm assuming there was a miscommunication there, but I'm also keying in on that matchup of Alex Fetchin versus Giovanni Manu. It looks like they're actually double teaming Alex Fetchin, which is pretty interesting considering you have, again, NFL prospect versus AUS lineman of the year, and still having to double team the lineman of the year.
Yes, Fetchin, the sack master from Calgary on that end. Big punt there from Flannery Fleck. And big special teams tackle on the play as Ben Harrington tried to double back to the wide side of the field. We'll take a break with UBC up by 10.
It was my greatest thrill when we just stood still. You let me hold your hand till I had my fill. It helped you to see you through.
Whatever life looks like to you, we're here for it. For life as you know it. Insurance, investments, advice. Canada Life.
I'm Sarah Said. Coming up at halftime, we have a recap of the 2023 Uteck Bowl, an interview with the Honorable Lois Mitchell. We will meet the 2023 Mitchell Family U Sports Alumni of the Year award winners and have first half highlights and stats. Back to you, Mark.
Sarah, thank you. 5:04 to go until halftime at Thunderbirds Stadium. StFX will start first and 10 from their own 29 after losing 11 yards on the return by Harrington, and Dimitri Patterson with that big special teams tackle for UBC. Vanier dropping back. He's under pressure. He'll escape the pocket. And Mitchell Townsend will wrap him up with assistance from Jackson Sorello Brown and a gain of about 4 on first down.
So what UBC is doing on defense is, as you can see here, you can see the special teams matchup today, having, again, Ben Harrington, an AUS All-Star, Ben Hadley, an AUS All-Star, going up against, right, Kieran Flannery Fleck, a Canada West All-Star, and Shamar McBean, a Canada West All-Star return. We have two great special teams units on the field today. But what you can see on that last play, what they're doing is they're actually dropping Ryan Baker back into coverage and using Mitchell Townsend as the coverage guy to cover the middle of the field, and he did a great job of not only stopping that Silas Vanier run, but stopping this recent run as well.
Bussey on the carry. He'll be short of a first down by about 2 yards. Coming back into competition after missing the Loney Bowl. There's Will Chapman, the right guard from Bedford, Nova Scotia, down on the field. And this would be a big loss for the ex-O-line, the fourth-year veteran who was looked like he was in a lot of pain. He was pounding the ground after he went down. Here's another look at it. Taking on Sampson in the middle. Oh, and he got driven into from behind. Looked like Bussey was driven right into his lineman.
And he's their best offensive lineman, right? He's their lone AUS All-Star on that front five. A key piece of Malcolm Bussey's third consecutive 1,000-yard season.
So to make that a gain of 5, it's now 3rd and 1. So a better spot than the X thought they had originally. And Will Chapman is helped to his feet. That's a big load. And he's not putting any weight on his right leg. So this does not look good for Will Chapman and the X-Men. So Chapman helped off in 3rd and 1. And Miguel Leino from Winnipeg, the third-year art student, number 66, will come in for Chapman at right guard for Gary Waterman and these X-Men. 3rd and 1, they're going to go for it from their own 43. Fenyon coming up under center. He'll sneak, get a push, and he'll have the first down.
Not surprised to see StFX go for it, especially considering the great job their defense has been doing. I mean, you only hold UBC to 17 points in the first half, and you stop them on 4 different drives. Might as well go for it. You're within reach, you're 10 points down, and your offense has a bit of momentum, so not surprised to see Gary Waterman make that call and go for it, even though he was only on his own 40-yard line.
Fenya has really blossomed into an experienced veteran signal caller. Does it all for this X-Man offense. A late bloomer who was homeschooled until grade 11. But a lot of football with his big brothers helped form this quarterback into the great athlete it is. Rolling right, and he'll be dropped for a loss. Mitchell Townsend, the middle linebacker, in on the play for UBC.
Yeah, Mitchell Townsend has taken over the Mike duties from Ryan Baker, who is dropping back into coverage, and so his responsibility is to keep an eye on Silas Vanier, and he was able to track Vanier throughout the entire play. Malcolm Bussey made a great block off the edge, but Mitchell Townsend was able to complete that play.
You hear him? Good.
It was my greatest thrill when we just stood still. You let me hold your hand till I had my fill. Help you to see you through.
Whatever life looks like to you, we're here for it. For life as you know it. Insurance, investments, advice. Canada Life.
Second and 17 for Silas Fenya and the X-Men 2:51 until the half. They desperately like to get some points here before the break. Vanier with time will throw to the far side. It's complete. Kareem in a great battle down the sideline, comes up with it for the X-Men.
After that tackle in the backfield that happened to Strandon on the recent play, they needed that play from Zachariah to Kareem to keep this drive alive.
It's a gain of 18, Deshaun, and a first down.
And look, that he was all over. He was being basically covered by Jarrell Cummins, who's a first-team candidate.
He's their lockdown corner, and he was beaten there. First down, Vanier in trouble. He'll escape the rush. Throws it downfield. Hood goes up for it, and he's got it. Zachary Hood with another first down as StFX moves the sticks again.
And you know what's special is you can see that ever since Will Chapman left the game, that pocket's been breaking down awfully quicker, and Vanier's been able to use his feet, and he was able to find Hood on that play, and Hood was able to come down with the catch.
Gain of 15, first down, X-Men, Ben Sangwa beaten on that one by Hood. The primary target in this passing offense from Andy Ganesh. And there's an issue with the yardsticks. They set the chain and we're ready to go as the X-Men driving here with 2:09 to go in the first half. Vanier looking poised under pressure. UBC giving him everything he can handle. Four-man rush, the ball's away. Kareem will make the catch. He's driven back, but they'll mark it a gain of 6 at his forward progress. Sorello Brown in on the tackle for UBC.
So Jarrell Cummins, he's their best lockdown corner. I think he's the best lockdown corner in Canada West football. And normally he plays press man. If you look at him now, he's actually playing off man and giving Zachariah Kareem some space. That shows that he's respecting what Kareem has done so far, and he needs that space to keep up with Kareem. And listen, Kareem was able to catch that quick hitch for that short gain.
Kareem coming back in the playoffs after missing 6 games. Big return. 2nd and 4. Play action. Fake to Bussey. It's complete. Harrington out of the backfield for a first down and more. Harrington down to the 11-yard line. And StFX is clicking again. A 25-yard gain.
And we got to mention Ben Harrington. Not only was he an all-star as a receiver, but he was also an all-star as a returner. So anytime you give him a catch and he has open field, he becomes a returner. He can find the open holes, and he was able to do that on this play. As you can see, the play action, respect the run. He has open field, and he's able to gain a lot of ground on that play, and now they're back in the red zone.
Ben Harrington averaged 70 yards a game through the air this season as an AUS All-Star. Vanier throwing a deep corner to the end zone. It's a jump ball, knocked away, and Jason Soriano, the receiver converted to DB, had the best shot at that football.
Yeah, and there was a lot of contact on that play. You can see Hood and Soriano were kind of going at it, a lot of hand checking there, and Vanier just wanted to give Hood a shot because Hood is his best receiver. He is his best receiver, and so, hey, give him a jump ball, see what he can do up against especially a receiver who just converted to DB, who's still learning the game. Take it any day.
All right, so it's 2nd and 10 from the UBC 11-yard line. Malcolm Bussey stays in the backfield. Vanier in the pocket, under pressure, he's wrapped up, and he'll be sacked for a loss. Jackson Sorello Brown on the blitz makes the sack for UBC's defense.
And UBC brought the heat on that one, and again, ever since Chapman left the game, you can see the pockets have been breaking down extremely quick. Sorello Brown came off the edge on that linebacker blitz, and yeah, he was able to get straight to Vanier quickly and take him down.
You know, Sorello Brown, Townsend, and Baker, those 3 big linebackers for UBC. Coach Blake Mills said they're all going to play in the CFL. That's how good they are.
Yeah, they can all stop the run. They can all drop back into coverage. They can all blitz off the line. They can all play all linebacker positions. They're all extremely talented.
UBC has taken their final timeout with 1:03 to go. Blake Neal hoping to get the ball back with some time. They will have the football offensively to start the second half. It will be a 21-yard field goal attempt for Ben Hadley of the X-Men, who was good on 24 field goals this year, to lead the U Sports with that number. Jim Daly in his 48th year coaching in the Silver Hare next to Gary Waterman. Daly, you talked about the special teams and just how remarkable both teams have been in that category, especially the X-Men under Jim Daly right there in the sunglasses.
Yeah, both of these teams have won a lot of their games on special teams, right? I think you talk about Kieran Flannery Fleck, you talk about Ben Hadley. These are two of the most impressive kickers in the country, and they can do more than just kick. They can punt, they can kick, they can punt, they can do it all.
Jim's coached everything from high school to junior to college in Ottawa, both at the Ravens and the GGs, to the CFL. He was a head coach in Saskatchewan. And now, in his 48th year of coaching football with these X-Men in this Mitchell Bowl. So Hadley with Hood to hold from 21 yards. As I mentioned, 83% field goal percentage this year. And there's a delay on the field. They're waiting for Mitchell Townsend. Here he is to come back on the field. So a 21-yard attempt from the left hash mark for Ben Hadley. Ball is out, down, kicked, and good. So a chip shot for Hadley puts 3 more on the board for the X-Men to narrow that UBC lead to 7.
And StFX is staying close. 7-point game. You've limited UBC to only 17 points and a half. You've put up 10 points on the board. If you're StFX going into halftime, this is anyone's game. You feel confident.
A lot of doubters of these X-Men, and they're proving a lot of people wrong with this first half performance, staying with this vaunted UBC attack. Knight in the backfield. First down, Thunderbirds, just under a minute to go to halftime at their 35. The handoff is to Isaiah Knight. Knight hit hard after a gain of 5, brought down by the defensive back, Nathan Coyote.
One big key for StFX on defense today, again, is going to be the play of number 72, Dighton Blackett, right? And you can see right here, he shifts over, and he's fully committed to stopping the run, and he lines up nice with Isaiah Knight, forcing him to run into Coyote.
Pass downfield to Sam Davenport. Big play, breaks the tackle, still on his feet, hustling down the sideline, finally driven out of bounds. Liam Wild makes the tackle at the 28-yard line of the X-Men. A 42-yard pickup.
If you're StFX's defense, that is not what you want to do with 44 seconds left in the half. You don't want to give up a big play. Rooker's able to go through his reads, and he's talked about how he's developed a great chemistry with Davenport in only 4 months. Finds him over the middle. Davenport bounces out to the outside and makes that big gain.
First and 10 UBC from the X-Men 28-yard line. Rooker throws to the backside. There's nobody there intended for Shamar McBean. In a mix-up in communication, the route looked a little deeper than the quarterback had time to throw.
Yeah, they also, StFX also had a halfback blitz off the edge. So you saw number 24, Brandon Martin, actually blitzing at Garrett Rooker, went untouched, got to the quarterback, and that kind of forced Rooker to have to get rid of the ball immediately.
Second and 10, Knight stays in it, running back for UBC, well within field goal range for Kieran Flannery Fleck. Rolling to the right, to the wide side. Rooker has time, now he'll run, and he'll be shoved out of bounds by Josh Connors, short of the first down marker. It's only a gain of 4 in the play, so 3rd and 6, and that will send Flannery Fleck into the football game with Connors limping.
If you're StFX, that was your best possible scenario, to be able to force a field goal from UBC, especially after giving up that big play. You didn't want to give up 6, right? So the next best thing is, okay, let's see if we can only give up 3, and they've succeeded in doing that.
Flannery Fleck will attempt his field goal from the right hash and the 30-yard line. His longest this year, 38. He was kicking from 45 in warm-ups. Ball is up, and no good. Fogarty in the back of the end zone for X-Men, and he'll get out to save the Rouge. And no points for UBC as Flannery Fleck hooks the 30-yard attempt.
Big respects to StFX's defense. They gave up that big play to Davenport, able to tighten up. Of course, force UBC offense onto a third down. Kieran Famuflek misses the field goal. You get the ball in the end zone. Best case scenario, you give up no points.
Wow, just when it looked like UBC was going to add to their margin. And in a 7-point ball game, big play by Fogarty, the backup running back, to get it out of the end zone and save the Rouge. 24 seconds to go until halftime. Malcolm Bussey with a big hole off tackle left, and he'll be stacked up after a gain of 4 yards on the play.
Not surprised to see StFX run the ball after what just happened. I think you just want to take care of the ball and safely go into halftime without turning the ball over or giving up any points. Still within reach, still a 7-point game. Things are still looking good for the X-Men.
So Bussey has managed to navigate this first half after missing last week's Loney Bowl with an injury. And Vanier will take a knee. That'll be the final play of the opening half. The UBC Thunderbirds 17, StFX X-Men 10, and we have a football game here in the Mitchell Bowl, one that maybe surprised a lot of experts across the country who were predicting another blowout. So UBC heading off the field, and these X-Men full value for this first half on a 5,000-kilometer road trip to the West Coast.
Yeah, the X-Men had a fantastic first half, and like you said, they've proven the doubters wrong. Many who thought this would be a blowout. As you can see, UBC started the game great. First drive, able to get it out to Sam Davenport for the touchdown. Able to, utilize Isaiah Knight on the ground and force StFX to respect the run to set up the pass, right? And but as the game continued to go on, StFX, their defense was able to just tighten up, slow down that UBC offense, and, keep this a close game.
Dane Kapler has been the Swiss Army knife for these UBC Thunderbirds. On the ground and through the air, as we're joined by UBC head coach Blake Nill. Blake, it's a 7-point ball game against a team you used to catch. Your thoughts on the first half?
Good football game. We've just got to finish drives. StFX is playing well. They're playing well on defense. We just got to finish drives. Score when we have the opportunity, and we'll work on that in the second half and come out and try to be better.
What with 4 fourth-quarter football games coming into this bowl game, you don't want to leave it to chance in the fourth quarter, do you?
No, we don't. But at the same time, we've just got to control what we can. I think we need to establish the run a bit more, be confident in our run game, and you'll probably see that second half.
Good-looking first half for the Thunderbirds. Thanks for your time, Blake.
Thank you.
So Blake Nill and the Thunderbirds jumped out to that early 14-point lead, but these scrappy X-Men, not to be intimidated, have put themselves back in this football game at the half. Can you raise?
It's that moment again, the one you dream of every night. La seule chose qui te préoccupe, c'est la gloire. Le cheminement de la réussite, of pushing yourself further than ever before. But the true glory is in the shadows. Les sacrifices que tu fais, quand toutes les chances sont contre toi. When you can't push one more second, chase the glory. Visez haut.
Was my greatest thrill when we just stood still. Let me hold your hand till I had my fill. Help you to see you through.
Whatever life looks like to you, we're here for it. For life as you know it. Insurance, investments, advice. Canada Life.
The Montreal Carabins clinched a spot in the 2023 Canada Life Vanier Cup with a 29-3 win at home against the Western Mustangs in the Uteck Bowl. Here are Mo Khan and Andrew Bartlett with a recap.
Well, two teams came into the Uteck Bowl, only one advance, and that is the Montreal Carabins as they beat the Western Mustangs 29-3. Andrew Bartlett, Mo Khan here. Andrew, Montreal set the tone with the opening touchdown by Legault, and Western was chasing this football game from that point.
Yeah, from that point on, it was all Montreal all game. This opening touchdown by Legault is what started everything. And then at that point, the defense by Montreal was able to take over. 6 total turnovers from the Western offense.
Well, you talk about Nicolas Roy. He led the Montreal Carabins defense, pilfered the ball, created a fumble, was all over the football field, and he was the chief destroyer of this Western team today.
Yeah, we see him with a sack on the screen right now. However, before that, he started the game off with an interception that really set the tone from Montreal's defense. He had a loss of 4 on that play and 6 total tackles.
6 total tackles, and that is the passport to victory over the Western Mustangs as they win 29-3. And that'll do it for us here for the Uteck Bowl. Carabins, they're going to Kingston for the Canada Life Vanier Cup. Stay tuned for that.
Get the stories behind the glory. Watch, listen, stream, read CBC Sports.
Hey, U Sports fans, check out shop.usports.ca for this week's promotional item from the Nike Team collection. Visitez le shop.usport.ca pour en profiter de la promotion de la semaine de la collection Nike Team.
Was my greatest thrill when we just stood still. You let me hold your hand till I had my fill. Help you to see you through.
Whatever life looks like to you, we're here for it. For life as you know it. Insurance, investments, advice. Canada Life.
1910 UBC at halftime of the Mitchell Bowl, named after this man, the late Doug Mitchell, who has a stunning list of career accomplishments. He was inducted into the Canadian Football Hall of Fame in 2021, was CFL commissioner for 4 years between 84 and 88, into the Canadian Sports Hall of Fame, appointed to the Order of Canada in 2004, and the Alberta Order of Excellence, inducted in 2007. He's been a huge contributor to the sport of football. As we join Sarah now with his widow, Lois.
Thank you, Mark. Lois and the late Doug Mitchell created the U Sports Alumni of the Year Awards in 2021 to celebrate student athletes who continue to support their universities after their playing days are complete. Your Honor, can you please provide a brief background as to how these awards came into inception in the first place?
But I can tell you how it came about, and you would understand, just so you know, it was during the pandemic. We were unfortunately weren't able to honor the top male and female student. And we had done for 30 years. 30 years we've been doing this. And that was due to the cancellation, of course, of the university sports in 2020. So we wanted to turn this into an opportunity. So we chose to create this wonderful new award. Doug and I wanted to find a way to recognize these amazing alumni that continue to give back. And so that's what we're all about now. All about the people who attribute much of their success in their business careers to the skills and values that they learned as student athletes. So leadership skills, absolutely. Teamwork, adaptability, my favorite word. These skills all translate to the business world, and that's what we wanted to find a way for today's student athletes to realize that.
Why is the Mitchell family so committed to recognizing those alumni who give back to Canadian university sport?
Well, I do think it's important to show the students the giving back, and it doesn't matter whether you give back in time, and we all know that, or we also say treasure or talent. That means that whether you give a little bit of money or very little, doesn't matter. And also the important thing is their talent, their wonderful knowledge that they can give back to their alma mater, and it helps preserve the legacy and traditions that made the university experience special for them. It's all about the future generations that can benefit from the same opportunities and experience. That's what that contributed to their own success. And we know university athletics plays a pivotal role, I think, in shaping individuals. That's what it's all about. And especially that word adaptability. That's what I've used all my life, is adaptability. You've got to adapt to every situation. And it's something that most people have a bit of a hard time. Adaptability means that you look at yourself, you change the direction, because if you did the same old, it doesn't work.
It's actually already time to announce the male recipient of the 2023 Mitchell Family Alumni of the Year Award. I was wondering if you could take over, Your Honor.
So we were very impressed with the nominees, and it was not an easy decision for the trustees, I'll tell you that. But with that, I am very pleased to announce the male alumni of the year is Marty Saltnick of the University of British Columbia. Congratulations, Marty.
Martin Zlotnick graduated from the University of British Columbia with a Bachelor of Commerce in 1966 and a Bachelor of Laws in 1969. A UBC football player and golfer, upon graduation, he embarked on a successful business career. Since 1984, he has raised more than $1 million for the UBC golf program and envisioned the UBC Millennium Scholarship Breakfast that has raised more than $13 million for student-athlete scholarships. And it is now time to announce the female recipient of the 2023 Mitchell Family Alumni of the Year Award as well.
Female Alumni of the Year goes to Heather Cartwright from Western University. Congratulations, Heather.
Heather Cartwright has been an extraordinary contributor and leader in support of building a culture of high performance and community excellence at Western University. A Mustang rower from 1988 to 1991, her athletic career was cut short after the discovery of a serious heart disorder. She and her family were influential in establishing the Cartwright Inheritable Cardiomyopathy and Arrhythmia Project through the Peter Munk Cardiac Center that studies the impacts of genes on heart health and inheritable heart diseases. She was also co-chair for the Be Extraordinary Advancement Campaign for Western that raised $750 million.
Thank you all for your outstanding contributions to university athletics. We're very, very proud of the amazing university alumni across the country, and we're so pleased to have the opportunity to honor them.
Our coverage of the 2023 Mitchell Bowl continues after this quick break. You're watching U Sports on CBC.
was my greatest thrill when we just stood still. You let me hold your hand till I had my fill. It helped you to see you through.
Whatever life looks like to you, we're here for it. For life as you know it. Insurance, investments, advice. Canada Life.
Back in Vancouver at halftime of the Mitchell Bowl, where the UBC Thunderbirds lead the StFX X-Men 17-10. Joining us now on the sidelines, ex-head coach Gary Waterman. Gary, you've got to be pretty excited about the way your football team has played this first half, down by just a major.
Yeah, we had maybe a case of the nerves early, some drop balls, and made a few mistakes, and then we settled in. So, you know, we got another half of football to play. So we got to just start like we finished off, you know, in that half.
It looks to me like you think you can navigate the UBC defense through the air with about 142 yards passing to about 47 rushing.
Well, I mean, it's just some of the things that we think that we're seeing right now. I mean, I'm sure they're going to make some adjustments, and we'll have to be ready for them, and then, you know, our adjustments as well. So we'll see how the second half goes in terms of strategy. But, yeah, I mean, that's how the first half played out.
Gary, thanks for your time. Good luck in the second half.
Thank you, guys.
Gary Waterman, StFX head coach, one of the great leaders in this sport from Atlantic Canada, the AUS Coach of the Year for the 6th time in his career, as he gets ready to talk offense with Silas Fagnon, his bright third-year quarterback, as we take a look at the Wilson halftime stats. Pretty even, except for the total yards offense and that early start, that 14-0 lead by UBC.
Yeah, you take away the total yards of offense, and this resembles the score. This resembles what appears to be a 7-point game.
Blake Nill, he's been a nervous wreck actually through the whole playoffs. And you think about having to come from behind to get here in both games. And on the kickoff from Flannery Fleck, it's Ben Harrington from his own 3-yard line. He'll reverse field. He'll get taken down for a gain of about 12 yards on the play. You heard Gary Waterman saying that UBC gave them the air, and this is not a good sign, as one of their best receivers, Ben Harrington, is down on the field. Harrington with that 25-yard catch in the first half and favoring his left leg.
Definitely not a good look. Might be a potential face mask on this play too. If you look right there, yep, face mask yanked. His ankle probably got buckled underneath all that pressure, but hopefully he's okay.
Linebacker Maka Bangura fell down on top at the end of that tackle, and wow, Harrington's in all kinds of difficulty with that left leg. It did look like a high tackle, but there was no flag. So Harrington, the double AUS All-Star, needs help to get off the field, not putting any weight on his left leg. It's a real loss.
Another look, and you're right. Oh. That is a high tackle, and you see his leg gets pinned underneath Bangura at a very awkward angle.
High tackle, and you could see the leg buckle.
And he can't put any pressure on that leg.
What looks like a serious leg injury to Ben Harrington. So what a way to start this second half for Gary Waterman, losing one of his top receivers. Harrington was second in the AUS this year. 557 yards through the air, 70 per game.
A lot of people actually make the comparison of Harrington to StFX great K on Julian Grant, who's also a great receiver and returner as well.
That's right, the returner part too in that equation. Great all-purpose athlete out of the lineup right now. Fenya looking deep downfield for Hood. It's intercepted. Max Kennedy with the interception for the UBC Thunderbirds. They'll take over at their own 47-yard line.
And you can see Silas Fagnon, similarly to how he started the game, wanted to start the second half going to Zachary Hood. And he actually, we'll see on the replay here, He stared down Hood this entire time, and he saw that Hood was in double coverage and still decided to throw the ball. And I understand Zachary Hood is your #1 receiver, but that might not have been the best look for Silas Fagnan on that play.
Gone to Hood all day. That was the 6th, 7th target of the receiver in this football game for StFX. Isaiah Knight takes the handoff for Rooker, and he drives his way right up the middle. Fedchin making the tackle for the X-Men, and this will be close to a UBC first down.
Well, before the half, you asked Blake Nill what would we expect, and he told us, he gave us the answers. He's going to try to establish the run, give Isaiah Knight the ball more, and as you can see, they're starting off the half by handing the ball to Isaiah Knight, and like Nill said, they are trying to establish that run behind that huge UBC offensive line.
Second and less than a yard for the Thunderbirds, trying to capitalize on this X-Men turnover. It's Knight. He'll have the first down. He's stacked up, but still going. They'll mark him down at the 49-yard line. And you can see big Giovanni Manu, the 6'8", 350-pound left tackle, signaling that first down with gusto.
Yeah, Giovanni Manu is actually, he's bullying Alex Fetchin on these runs, and he's making a lot of room for Isaiah Knight to make these big gains and pushing from behind, pushing the pile, giving Knight more yardage, and again, establishing the run, just like Blake Nill said to start this half.
First down, UBC into StFX territory at their 49-yard line. Garrett Rooker, Texas gunslinger. Play action, rolling right to throw. Rooker fires the ball complete to Sam Davenport. He sidesteps the first hit. Then he's gang tackled at the X-Men 32-yard line.
And now you're starting to see UBC's offense, coached by Stevenson Bone, kind of resemble the same script they had in the first quarter. Run with Isaiah Knight a couple times, set up the run, then focus on the play action to set up the pass, and they were able to find Sam Davenport on that comeback route for the first down.
You know, it's incredible even to see Rooker playing this season when you consider he dislocated his hip in week 7 last season, had 7 hours of surgery and spent 2 months in an incline wheelchair and came back. The handoff is to Knight off the right side. He's got all kinds of daylight and finally forced out of bounds by Tom Bentley, the cornerbacker, and another huge first down as the UBC offense is making good on this opportunity.
Amazing run there by Isaiah Knight. He's able to focus. He's able to capitalize on that block by Giovanni Manu and get off the edge. You talk about that injury that Garrett Rooker had. It's the same injury that Tua Tagovailoa had when he was in college that put him out of action for a couple of months. So again, great to see Garrett Rooker back on the field literally less than a year after suffering such a gruesome injury.
Liam Wild with the tackle on that play. It looks like first and goal from the 10. Hand off to Isaiah Knight again, right into the thick. And he'll have nowhere to go as they drag him back. Maybe a gain of 1 on the play.
And UBC's already run the ball 3-4 times on this drive, and so StFX is expecting the run, and right there they're able to kind of just crowd up in the trenches. You see Josh Connors gets through there, you see Alex Fetchin gets through there, and they're able to stop Isaiah Knight from doing what he's done recently, which is gain big yards.
Dighton Blackett, the Will linebacker, on 2nd and goal from the 9-yard line. It's a play action passing attempt. Rooker away from pressure. Connor says he was pulled down. The ball is complete. Touchdown, Shamar McBean. Connor saying he was held on the play. No flag, and Shamar McBean with the touchdown catch to open this second half for the UBC offense, turning that turnover into 7 points.
The key block from Arvin Hosseini right there on Josh Connors is what allows this play to really unfold, and that gives Rooker some time to roll out and find McBean on the crosser right in the end zone to put UBC on the board for the first time in this half.
Point after from Karen Flannery Fleck is good. And just like that, McBean and the Thunderbirds open a 14-point lead.
Hey U Sports fans, check out shop.usports.ca for this week's promotional item from the Nike Team Collection. Visitez le shop.usport.ca pour en profiter de la promotion de la semaine de la collection Nike Team.
Unbelievable! History has repeated itself!
Get the stories behind the glory. Watch, listen, stream, read CBC Sports.
It was my greatest thrill when we just stood still. You let me hold your hand till I had my fill. Help you to see you through.
Whatever life looks like to you, we're here for it. For life as you know it. Insurance, investments, advice. Canada Life.
Let's take another look at that touchdown catch by Shamar McBean. Was he in? He's just 1 foot inbound. Yes.
Yes, he got it.
Really driven hard out of touch by Liam Wild. 24-10 UBC. Fleck to kick off. Fogarty. Ombatimbe back to return for StFX with Harrington injured. Ombatimbe is in. It's Caleb Fogarty from his own 2-yard line. Fogarty, nice move, takes a big hit, breaks the tackle. Then he's wrestled to the turf. Tyler Griffith, the special teams Canwest All-Star, making the tackle for the Thunderbirds.
With Ben Harrington out on this drive, I'm not sure if StFX will be as rattled because, you know, Silas Fenton has been able to spread the ball around to Zachariah Kareem, Devon Blackwood, Zachary Hood. Multiple receivers have been able to catch passes today for StFX, and you see Harrington being worked on there. But I'm not sure if this is going to rattle StFX because they've been dealing with injury for the last 3 weeks.
They're working on his left ankle, adding some tape there. Walking without much of a limp. We'll see if he can come back. That would be a huge loss for StFX as they've mainly plied their offense through the air like this, but the ball is incomplete. Fagnon in and out of the hands of Peyton Flesh, the rookie from Barrie, Ontario.
The key adjustment that I'm noticing on that last play is that Ryan Baker, number 14, has gone back to being the middle linebacker. Mitchell Townsend is now coming onto the defensive line and creating that 40 front. Let's see if UBC continues with that look into this quarter.
X-Men managed about 47 yards rushing in that first half, 142 through the air. Can they establish that run game here in the second half? Coming back from 14 down. Hood, the intended receiver, makes the catch, and Soriano makes the tackle and strips the ball. And they're going to say it is a good catch as Mitchell Townsend picks up the football in the end zone. The always hungry Thunderbird linebackers.
You know, UBC's secondary, they play pretty cushioned off man, but the benefit with what they have at defensive back is a lot of their DBs are athletic, are fast, and are able to close in on passes very quickly. And you were able to see that over there with Justin Soriano, who's able to close in on that pass and break it up.
So the Thunderbirds stop the X-Men deep in their own end as Max Capriati stands at his own 1-yard line. Capriati, a spiraling line drive punt back to the 50-yard line. Rednor Brookman breaks away, gets down the sideline. Rednor Brookman with some room. There's Capriati. He can't make the tackle. Caesar Redmond Brookman, 61 yards to the end zone. Touchdown, UBC.
The first big special teams play of the day. We'll get the replay here soon, but Caesar Redmond Brookman is able to haul in that punt and bounce over to the field side. And no one's able to catch him. You see Diamond Blackett there, but he outruns Diamond Blackett. Key block there. And look at that. clean to the end zone, barely even touched.
Flipped the punter away with a straight arm. And a 61-yard punt return for a touchdown. Point after from Flannery Fleck is good. And it's a 20-point lead just like that as the Thunderbirds strike quickly here in the third quarter.
Coming out of halftime, this was a 7-point game, and this has quickly gone a little bit out of hand, down by 21. Let's see if StFX can slow things down here. You see here again, on that return, untouched. Outruns Blackett, flicks off the returner, and is into the end zone. Let's see if StFX can develop some momentum, regain control of this game, and try to put some points on the board and stay in it.
Caesar Redner-Brookman, the rookie out of Oakland, California, the art student at UBC. Played only 4 games during the regular season, 2 touchdowns, and a big return for 61 here to open a big hole. 31-10 UBC. Karen Flannery Fleck with the kickoff. Tombo Chimbe from his own 3-yard line. Breaks the first tackle, sidesteps the second, then gets caught in an avalanche short of the 15-yard line. So again, tough field position for Silas Fenya and this X-Men offense.
Fanyan is one of the more experienced quarterbacks in this country, right? And he's also one of the more successful quarterbacks in this country, having not lost a regular season game for 3 seasons. So I'm sure he's not rattled. I'm sure he's been in tough situations before, especially against Western and Saskatchewan in recent national semifinals. Let's see if he can help turn this around.
Bussey at running back has not been much of a factor on the ground. The 1,000-yard rusher for the X-Men in this football game. First down. Handoff is to Malcolm Bussey. Bussey is smacked down at the 18-yard line by Jackson Cirillo Brown. Gain of 5 on the play. Lots of talk about the health of Bussey after missing last week's Loney Bowl with what is believed to be a high ankle sprain. And the fact that he's able to play this football game, if it is indeed a high ankle sprain, is incredible.
Yeah, and they're load managing him, right? They're subbing him in and out for Fogarty, giving him the touches when he needs to, but not overworking him.
It's 2nd and 4 from the 19. High snap, fumble, football. Bussey gets back on it, but a botched exchange between Fanya and Bussey. Don't see that too often, and a loss of 5 yards on the play.
Like you said, high snap. Bussey ran into Fanyan, and of course sets up the fumble, right? You see it right here, sets up the fumble. Luckily, Bussey was able to drop onto it, but it's probably going to set up the punt for StFX, and UBC offense might get that ball back.
Wow, it's all going wrong here in the third quarter for the X-Men after a strong first half. Max Capriotti in a familiar place, standing at his own goal line, and he will retreat and concede a 2-point safety to make it 33-10 UBC with half the third quarter still to go. So a tough start for the X-Men, and the Thunderbirds have pounced.
They don't do it for the likes or for the shares. They do it for the fun of it, for the thrill, for the camaraderie, for the memories. CBC Sports, just because they love it.
It was my greatest thrill when we just stood still. You let me hold your hand till I had my fill. Help you to see you through.
Whatever life looks like to you, we're here for it. For life as you know it. Insurance, investments, advice. Canada Life.
With their win in the Uteck Bowl today, the Carabins become the second Montreal football team to play for a national championship in the next 7 days. The Montreal Alouettes take on the Winnipeg Blue Bombers in Hamilton tomorrow in the 110th Grey Cup. The last time that a U Sports and CFL team from the same city won the Vanier and Grey Cups in the same year, 1980, when Edmonton topped Hamilton 48-10, and the Alberta Golden Bears defeated the Ottawa GGs 40-21. It has happened 7 times since, with U Sports teams winning 3 Vanier Cups, and CFL teams have lost 5 straight Grey Cups when played in the Vanier in the same season. Back to you, Mark.
Thank you, Sarah. First down at their own 35. The Thunderbirds will hand off to Tualope Ayadegbe in the backfield, giving Knight some rest. Knight has crashed over 100 yards in this football game. Getting a breather here after carrying the mail, and a flag on the play.
Again, Blake Mill, like he said, going into halftime, he wants to establish the run, and he's staying consistent to that.
So the holding penalty will be charged to the Thunderbirds. They'll take it back 10. Holding. Make it 1st and 20 back at the UBC 25-yard line. The X-Men need a big swing here because this game is getting away from them. Down by 23 points now, midway through the third quarter.
And it's going to start on the defensive end. They need to stop this UBC offense that has gained a lot of momentum over the last couple of drives. They're going to need to stop that UBC defense or offense from moving down the field.
UBC giving Knight a rest. Ayadegbe stays in the backfield. Pass to Sam Davenport. He takes a high tackle and a flag on the play as Brandon Martin brings him down by the neck. This will be a high tackle.
Another look at this play. Rooker out to Davenport, who he's developed so much chemistry with. And yeah, that is a high tackle.
StFX.
Blake Mill was saying it's incredible to think of the chemistry they've developed when they've only been together for 4 months since Davenport transferred from the now defunct Simon Fraser program.
Yeah, and a lot of these Blake Mill championship teams have always had transfers from other schools. You go back to his days at Calgary, having Eric Glavich, who transferred over from SFU or SMU, his UBC national championship team in 2015 that had people like Malcolm Lee and Stavros Katsantonis and of course Michael O'Connor, and now this team that has Sam Davenport and Jarrell Cummings. Transfers have always been on brand for Blake Mill.
1st and 10 at the 45 of UBC. X-Men cannot afford to keep giving these huge penalties and progress to UBC as Dane Kapler bulldozes his way for maybe a yard on the play. He had a tremendous first half for UBC with a 10-yard touchdown reception and some big gains on the ground.
Kapler did it all in the first half, like you just said. Receptions, touchdowns, big runs, conversion on 3rd down. He did it all, but this StFX defense really needs to tighten up right now and stop this UBC offense. Let's see if they can get them on this down and force them to maybe punt on 3rd down.
2nd and long, 2nd and 9. Ayadegbe stays in the backfield at running back for UBC. Now he motions to the short side. Pressure now, and Josh Connors with the quarterback sack as he drops Garrett Hooker to the turf for a loss, and a big defensive stand for the X-Men just when they really need it.
Just when they really needed it. The rare time you'll see a linebacker get through that big offensive line, but Josh Connors got in there untouched. It looked like Lucas Robertson missed the block, and he was able to pick up that much needed sack to force this UBC offense off the field.
Connors is athletic, has a nose for the ball, nearly stripped the quarterback there. Just a physical presence in that X defense, forcing UBC to punt on 3rd and 19. Ambatimbe is back for the X-Men along with Zach Kareem. Ben Harrington still has not returned after that leg injury. Flannery Fleck, the high towering punt. Ombatimbe at his own 27 and is felled quickly for a return of only 5 yards on the play. Brad Hladek makes the tackle for the Thunderbirds.
And now it's time for Silas Vanier and that StFX offense to see if they can make something happen. They still got time. They don't work from behind often. They don't have to come from behind often. They're normally used to pounding on their opponents in the AUS. This is not familiar territory for them, but nonetheless, they are a resilient team. So let's see if Valiant can move this ball down the field.
Their only big test was having to win in triple overtime this season against Bishops, the team they dispatched last week in the Loney Bowl. But they've got lots of time, as you mentioned, Deshaun. Vanier throwing to the wide side is complete to Zach Hood. Hood breaks the tackle, heads upfield, and Bangura makes the tackle after a gain of 7 by Hood.
And you're not going to get any big plays off the jump, but what Vanier wants to do is just spread the ball out just like he did in the first quarter, get people catching passes, get people warmed up. Let's just slowly chip away at this, move down the field. Great pass, but great catch by Hood, and a great play to set up second down.
So they'll make it a gain of 8, 2nd and 2, as the X-Men hand off and stay on the ground. Malcolm Bussey will be close. He is stacked up and drilled back. Mitchell Townsend was first to make contact for the Thunderbirds along with Ryan Baker. It'll be 3rd down, though. He won't get that first down. It'll be 3rd and inches.
Not surprised to see them hand it off to their AUS all-star running back, right? If you need only 2 yards, he's the guy you want to hand it off to, but you can see everyone got in there. Bertuzzi got in there, Baker got in there, Townsend got in there. They knew the run was coming.
They'll leave their offense on the field for this 3rd down gamble. 3rd and about the length of the football. Bussey stays in at running back as Fagno comes in under the center, drops the football. He'll be short. It doesn't look like he'll get there. In another miscue, as Sorello Brown was first to make contact. What a mix-up. Silas Fagnon is beside himself as the X-Men turn the ball over on downs here in the 3rd quarter.
They don't do it for the likes or for the shares. They do it for the fun of it, for the thrill, for the camaraderie, for the memories. CBC Sports, just because they love it.
It was my greatest thrill when we just stood still. You let me hold your hand till I had my fill. Help you to see you through.
Whatever life looks like to you, we're here for it. For life as you know it. Insurance, investments, advice. Canada Life.
The look on Gary Waterman's face says it all as the X-Men turn the ball over on downs and what looked like a sure 3rd down attempt. Conversion goes awry with the fumble, and UBC takes over. Ayadegbe with a short gain as Alex Fedchin, with help from Josh Connors, makes the tackle for this X defense.
And yeah, Blake Mill and Stevenson Boner, again, continuing to run the ball, continuing to establish the run to set up the pass. Alex Fedchin was able to get in there and break up that running play.
So no gain on the play for Ayadegbe, the 2nd-year running back from Calgary. He stays in the backfield. Rednor, Bruckman motioning to the wide side of the field. Lots of time. The pass down the middle. It's complete. And Isaac Ellison has the ball. It comes free. And the X-Men, Josh Connor, says he's got the football. Ellison is not getting up. He's still down on the ground as the UBC training staff makes its way on the field.
On that play, StFX actually dropped Dighton Blackett and Alex Fedchin back into coverage. And still Garrett Rooker was able to find a hole in that secondary.
Isaac Allison, rookie out of Everett, Washington, being attended to.
You see right here. Fetchin drops back into coverage. Blackett drops back into coverage. Connors is in coverage.
The ruling, the catch was complete and that Ellison was down, but you can see the ball was coming out.
Yep, that ball comes out.
The ball was coming out and Connors picks it up. And now folks in the stadium are seeing this replay and making the same gestures as the X-Men, that shouldn't have been a catch.
But it also shouldn't have been a fumble. It looks like it was more of an incomplete pass.
Isaac Allison makes his way off the field under his own steam, but it's a first down for the Thunderbirds. Blake Nill, who began his coaching career more than 30 years ago as a defensive coordinator for StFX, says he has a StFX corner in his office. Much respect for his roots in college football. Double tight end heavy formation for UBC. Ayadegbe will take the handoff. Connors unblocked, waiting for him, breaks the tackle, and Ayadegbe is taken to the ground by a host of X-Men for a gain of 2.
And that StFX front seven is catching on. They understand now that UBC is establishing the run, continuing to run the ball, and now they're saying, hey, let's shut this down. And you can see Josh Connors gets in there. Alex Funchen, now you're seeing him finally get into the backfield. Jay Turnson, you're seeing him get in there as well. Dighton Black, they're stopping the run. They're doing what they need to do.
Hunter Mousseau also giving the UBC running back some chin music. 2nd and 8 after the gain of 2. Rooker to throw to the near side. It's complete to the tight end, Robertson. Lucas Robertson, the CanWest All-Star, will have a short gain and leave it 3rd and 3.
I think that's the first time I've ever seen Lucas Robertson line up at the wideout position. The first time, and so that made me say he definitely is going to be getting the ball if he's at the wideout position.
There's an athlete that they all say we'll see someday in the CFL. Big man, 6'4", 240 tight end from Edmonton. And a field goal attempt here coming for Kieran Flannery Fleck. We'll see where he'll set the tee up at about the 32-yard line.
And to bring it back to Robertson, where he excels is as a blocker. He does a great job of creating those holes for Isaiah Knight in that running attack. They wouldn't be successful without him.
Fleck is 1 for 2 today. He shanked a 30-yard attempt. This one is good from 32 yards. So Flannery Fleck splits the uprights. It makes it 36-10 UBC as the X-Men have not been able to keep up in the second half. That turnover on downs leading to 3 and the Thunderbirds.
And the defense, they did their job, right? They were able to limit that UBC offense to just 3 points. It's the offense now, the StFX offense, that needs to make something happen. They need to get back on the board. They need to find the end zone on this drive if they want to even have a chance at getting to a Vanier Cup.
The X-Men will take the ball at their own 35 on first down. Vanier with play action, throws to Flesh in the flats. He drops his knee after losing his footing with Ryan Baker right there anyway for the Thunderbirds. Ryan Baker, what an incredible defensive player he has become after making the switch from quarterback to linebacker. Not many quarterbacks can do that.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he would have been one of the best quarterbacks in the country, but he certainly is one of the best linebackers in the country. And to be honest, he's the captain of this defense. The defensive tone is set by Ryan Baker.
Loss of 1 on the play, 2nd and 11. Vanier fires downfield. It's incomplete, but there's a flag on the play intended for Zachary Hood. This looks like pass interference against the UBC defense.
We'll get a look at that because StFX desperately needs to be able to move the ball upfield, and you see right there is a pass interference, and they might be moving the ball upfield for StFX right here.
Referee Brendan Murphy officiating here today.
Forward pass interference. UBC number 17. Ball placed at the spot of the foul. First down.
So that interference is 13 yards downfield, so it will not be, it will be a spot of foul penalty, 13 yards.
And you can see Bakamanguro was really physical with Zachary Hood on that play, so I understand that call.
So some life here in the offense of the X-Men with a minute 14 and counting left to go in the third quarter. Play action and big hand up by Kayshawn Carter to knock that down.
Kayshawn Carter and Kyle Sampson together are a great 1-2 punch at nose tackle for the UBC front five, and Kayshawn Carter was able to come through on that pressure, and you can see right here he's able to get a hand up and bat that ball down and not even give Silas Fadian a chance to get a ball to the receiver.
Colin Buffalo had them all blocked up, but a big stretch and the meat hook of Kayshawn Carter knocks that ball down. 2nd and 10. X-Men. Fagnon with time, throwing down the sideline. It's intercepted. Ben Sangwa picks off Silas Fagnon on the deep ball.
UBC brought the heat. Their front seven brought the heat. They brought the blitz. You saw Ryan Baker get in there. Townsend got in there. Bangura got in there. And it forced Silas Fagnon to have to get rid of the ball quickly. You can see off the edge there. And it forced him to get rid of the ball quickly. And he threw it into double coverage. And not surprised to see that ball get intercepted. Jarrell Cummings on the coverage there. The Canada West All-Star. He's that lockdown corner. And you know he had Zachariah Kareem locked up on that play.
So another costly turnover by the X-Men. Agadembe loses the football. It's picked up by Brandon Martin. Martin headed to the end zone. Martin, touchdown. Whoa! What a big reversal of fortune.
Much needed. Much needed.
After the interception, the forced fumble. And Brandon Martin, the 4th-year defensive back from Melfort, Saskatchewan, rumbles into the end zone for the X-Men.
And suddenly the X-Men have a little bit of life. They have a little bit of life. You can see right here, who poked that out? Turnsick poked it out, and Martin catches it, and he brings it into the end zone untouched. The X-Men have some ounce of life left.
Jay Turnsick, the 4th-year man out of North Bay, Ontario, with the forced fumble recovered by Brandon Martin and returned for a touchdown. So there's a delay here and a delay of game call against the X-Men as the long snapper did not come onto the field.
Very uncharacteristic of
Joe Hancock. Didn't come on the field to hold for the extra point.
That's very uncharacteristic of a special teams unit coached by Jim Daly, right?
Well said. Yeah, Jim Daly leaves nothing unturned in preparation. So this will be an extra point with Hood holding. Hadley has it up and good to make it 36-17 UBC with 23 seconds to go in the third quarter.
And yes, the X-Men are down by 19 points, but they still have a quarter to chip away at this thing. We've seen them come from behind in games before, specifically, Mark, like you alluded to, their game against Bishops back in September. And again, and look at this game-changing play by Jay Turnsick that turns into a Brandon Martin fumble and score. Can the X-Men continue to chip away at this?
Well, that's the question. With a quarter of football still to go, and UBC taking his foot off the gas really by staying on the ground and trying to eat the clock with the backup running back, Ayadegbe, who coughs up the football.
Yeah, Isaiah Knight has not seen a snap in the third quarter, I'm pretty sure. So to see Ayadegbe taking majority of those snaps, it shows UBC might be a little bit comfortable with this lead, but let's see if Blake Knowles is able to switch it up and get his team to get that sense of urgency again, like that sense of urgency that they've had the last 2 weeks when they've had these great fierce battles against Manitoba and Alberta.
So a 19-point margin The dying seconds for UBC in this third quarter. Perfect day for football here on the West Coast. Shamar McBean at his own goal line for UBC on this kick return. McBean cuts back into traffic, and he's taken down across the 20. There's a late flag on the play back at the 40-yard line.
Let's get a look at what the call is.
You can hear the voices of the ex-bench. This game ain't over. Let's go.
Unnecessary roughness. UBC number 26. 15-yard penalty.
So unnecessary roughness is the call against UBC, and this will take the ball back inside their 10.
And after that play, that scoop and score by Brandon Martin, this is not where you want to start off, especially with this StFX defense. They have confidence. They know they can stop this UBC offense because they've done it before. Now, can they do it while they're inside their own 10?
And Isaiah Knight is back in the football game at running back for the Thunderbirds. They'll hand it off to Knight. Knight up the gut, cut down as he crosses the 15-yard line. Tackled by Jay Turnsek, who forced the fumble on the preceding series.
Yeah, hand it off tonight and let him pick up a few yards, get you out of your own end zone, out of within your own 10-yard line, give you some cushion.
So that'll be the final play of the third quarter. They'll change ends with the Thunderbirds up by 19.
It was my greatest thrill when we just stood still. You let me hold your hand till I had my fill. Help you to see you through.
Whatever life looks like to you, we're here for it. For life as you know it. Insurance, investments, advice. Canada Life.
CBC is Canada's home for university sport. Join us next Saturday for exclusive coverage of the 2023 Canada Life Vanier Cup from Kingston, Ontario. Catch every second of the action beginning next Saturday at 1 Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific Time. Canada Life Vanier Cup next Saturday only on CBC Television, CBC Gem, and CBCSports.ca. The Montreal Carabins awaiting the victor of this Mitchell Cup.
Yeah, their first appearance since 2019 when they took on the Calgary Dinos, and we'll see who's going to meet them in Kingston next week.
Second and 2, the handoff to Isaiah Knight. He sticks his head down, and it looks like he'll have it as he drives Dighton Blackett back. Some rough sledding there. Slow to get up. Stays on the field as we look at the Wilson three-quarter stats, as the Thunderbirds leading in every category.
And you can see in the third quarter, UBC really blew this open. They blew this open, and they were able to put up another 120 yards of total offense, gain more first downs, and yeah, hold on to the ball a little bit more, and yeah, they're up 19.
I should say that, I mean, for what, 6.5 minutes time of possession, the X-Men have had the ball.
Yeah, they've had the ball for a long time, but they haven't been able to move the ball downfield.
Wow, so they bring Isaiah Knight back into the football game here, and he's injured.
big hit between Knight and Blackett. Take a look right here. They met in the hole, and that was a big hit. And even,
it was a late shot on the play. Blackett looks like he's favoring his hand as he took a wallop on the contact with Knight. Isaiah Ward. So 1st and 10 on that roughshod carry from Knight that left him injured. And Uteck is not coming in after his fumble. They've gone to the number 3 running back, Lucas Mastrodomenico. Mastrodomenico takes the handoff for the Thunderbirds. And he'll navigate his way for 6 yards on 1st down, make it 2nd and 4. For UBC.
StFX's front 7, they knew the run was coming. You saw Josh Connor showing blitz way before the play even started, and Jay Turnsack, he's done an amazing job today of helping stop that run, fill those holes, and kind of get past that UBC offensive line to really help stop the run.
2nd and 4 as the X-Men continue to make it tough for UBC to dig out of its own end. Mastrodomenico stays in the backfield. They'll pass. Rooker upfield, caught by Shamar McBean for a 1st down. And Liam Wild making the tackle at boundary corner.
Yeah, Liam Wild was all over that. He was playing off man. He gave Shamar McBean a lot of cushion, but he was able to read Garrett Rooker's eyes, see where the ball was going, and get there just in time to stop McBean from making any more of a gain. But UBC did pick up the 1st down.
Yeah, McBean knowing exactly where he had to be to get the 1st down. 1st down at their own 31-yard line. The Thunderbirds will play action. No, they'll. What a fake. Yes, indeed. The pass is complete to Sam Davenport. He breaks a tackle, still on his feet, and finally wrestled out of bounds by Brandon Martin. And a great play action. They had us all fooled to Mastrodomenico.
Literally had us all fooled. One of the things about Sam Davenport that's extremely underrated, and you look right here, they're able to play off the play action there. Amazing play action. Find Sam Davenport. He's very elusive. He breaks tackles on almost every single play where he gets the ball, and he was able to break one there, get a couple more yards, pick up the 1st down, and put UBC in good field goal range.
Sam Davenport, the college hero 1 week ago with that thrilling last-second catch with no time on the clock in the thrilling UBC comeback, has a 1st down. Rooker across the middle. McBean with a one-handed catch, reaching behind himself for a short gain on the play, and he's shaken up. McBean writhing in pain after making that circus catch. And so a 2nd starter for the UBC offense goes down here in the 2nd half.
Rooker finds McBean on the crossing route over the field, and he catches behind his body. Amazing catch, but he gets tangled up. And now you got to wonder, right? UBC, they lost Isaiah Knight for a couple plays. McBean looks to be walking it off.
So he'll limp his way off the field, and Jason Soriano, the two-way player, the defensive back turned receiver in this game. He was a receiver until week 5 of this season when they put him back in the secondary. Has 2 touchdown catches this year. So Soriano comes into the game going both ways here this afternoon on 2nd and 6. Rooker rolling right, throws it to Sam Davenport, makes the catch very close to the 1st down, and the X-Men think he's short.
UBC's depth on offense is being tested with the loss of McBean and Knight. And so what does Garrett Rooker go to? He goes to the receiver who he has the most chemistry with, Sam Davenport, who he knows he can always go to. Davenport runs a nice 10-yard hook there, is able to bring down the ball, and might be a 1st down. We'll see what the chains say.
Davenport in the 2 playoff games in the Can West had 256 yards receiving. Was the big play star including that thrilling last-second catch, and he will be short by about 6 inches. So the big, heavy package is brought onto the field by the Thunderbirds, and they'll go for it with backup quarterback Derek Engel from Grapevine, Texas, coming into the football game. He played last year in the Hardy Cup when Rooker was injured with that dislocated hip and fractured hip socket. An injury you might want to know often comes in a car accident. That's how bad that hit was. So Engel on this 3rd down conversion attempt, inches to go. So the referee was not set, blew his whistle. Now he's good to go. 3rd and inches, UBC. Engel at the controls for the Thunderbirds. He'll keep it for himself and fall for a 1st down. And there's some extracurriculars down in the pile with Alex Fedchin delivering some shots.
I believe Josh Connors did his best Troy Polamalu impersonation and hopped over both the defensive line and the offensive line. He just missed Derek Engel.
So the Thunderbirds with another 1st down at the StFX 37-yard line.
Yep. And yep, you see Connors right there. He just missed him.
Look at Fedchin go to work in the pile.
Come on now.
Rooker handing off to Mastro Domenico. A nice sidestep shift and more. A 1st down. And look at that. The Thunderbirds don't miss a beat on the ground.
You talk about that sidestep. That's what extended this play. Takes the handoff, sees the hole, closes with Manu, sidestep, finds grass, and gains the 1st down and more.
23-yard pickup for Lucas Mastro Domenico, the 3rd-year student from Kirkland, Quebec. Thunderbirds now inside the red zone of the X-Men. 1st down at the 19 of StFX. Mastro Domenico gets the call again, and he grinds his way for a gain of 2 to the 17-yard line. What a battle going on in the trenches here this afternoon.
Yeah, and Mastro Domenico has actually been he's continued a lot of the success that we've seen with Isaiah Knight throughout the day. He's come in, he's been a fresh breath of air for this team. And you see he picks up only 2 yards right there, but again, moving the ball slowly downfield, and they're in the red zone, so they're favorable to put some points on the board.
Nick Schmeiler there shedding the block and making the tackle. 2nd and 7, play action now. Rooker throwing to the end zone. Davenport is wide open. Touchdown, UBC. Sam Davenport with his 2nd touchdown catch of this football game.
Have a look here at the replay, and Sam Davenport, he isn't even being covered tight on man, and he has a corner route, and he has all the space in the world to make that play. I don't know what happened. It might have been a miscommunication on defense, but you cannot be giving a Canada West All-Star that much cushion to work with, especially in the red zone.
And how about Garrett Rooker in this 2nd half? 10 for 10. More than 100 yards through the air and 2 touchdowns.
Dare I say this might be the best we've seen him so far in the playoffs?
He's been so poised, nothing has fazed him. And that connection, that chemistry continues. Rooker to Davenport. Touchdown. One of the things that this UBC team has done that gave them problems in the playoffs is they've limited their turnovers. Remember, they had a total of 9 in the Hardy Cup. 4 on downs. 4 or 5 in the 4th quarter alone. And not many teams can survive that.
Yeah, when we spoke to Blake Nell, he said it was very uncharacteristic of this UBC team, and they got to clean that up if they want to have a chance to get into the Vanier Cup. And so far today, they've done just that. Aside from that 1 fumble by McBean, and then, of course, that Brandon Martin scoop and score, they haven't really turned the ball over much today.
Conversely, Silas Fagnon has not been able to get his offense untracked here in the 2nd half after being within a converted touchdown at halftime.
And just a pan back to Garrett Rooker. He has 304 passing yards already in this game. A spectacular performance from this, Texas kid who's blossomed into a Canada West All-Star.
Texas kid that turned down Division I offers to come for the UBC education and the Thunderbird football. Here in Flannery Fleck to Ambatimbe at his own 5-yard line for StFX. He'll cut back to the short side of the field. Still driving his way to the 18-yard line. So a gritty return for Ambatimbe as Faniel comes back onto the field. I mentioned he's from Bonnyville, Alberta. Played Tier 3 high school football. That means they only played the small towns around Bonnyville. That's way up near Cold Lake, Alberta. And it was his big brothers that helped him, develop his skills. 2 of his brothers played ahead of him at StFX. In fact, 2 years ago, he played with his brother before he aged out in 2021. But can Faniel fashion something here as he hands off to Malcolm Bussey? Bussey is not the same running back we've seen before. Has no gain on the play, playing injured, no doubt, in this football game in a gritty, gallant effort. But the ground game has deserted the X-Men here in this Mitchell Bowl.
Yeah, that UBC front seven was able to just really bully that StFX offensive line, which hasn't been the same since Will Chapman left, and find Bussey in the backfield. And Townsend's been amazing today, really blowing up the run, really doing everything, right? He's dropped back into coverage, he stopped the run, and he's been a key piece for this UBC defense.
Fania rolling to the wide side, throws down the middle. It's complete to Zachary Hood. Up to the 33-yard line as Sanghua makes the tackle along with Ryan Baker. Baker in almost every big play.
Yeah, Baker is all over the field, right? Again, he's their best linebacker, and he can do it all. Drop back into coverage, being that former quarterback, being able to understand what it takes to be a starting quarterback in this country, and being able to read South Fanion all day and kind of stick with the pass and get to the ball wherever he needs to be.
1st and 10 at their own 33, the X-Men. Pass is intercepted. Caden Cook, the second-year field corner, and it's thrown right into his midsection. And Fagnon turns it over through the air. The 5th turnover of this football game for the X-Men. And the Thunderbirds take over when we come back.
It was my greatest thrill when we just stood still. You let me hold your hand till I had my fill. It helped you to see you through.
Whatever life looks like to you, we're here for it. For life as you know it. Insurance, investments, advice. Canada Life.
Here are the numbers for the 2 starting quarterbacks in this football game, with Engel 303 yards through the air and 4 touchdowns. Fagnon 162 and 3 interceptions. What a change in complexions for these 2 young quarterbacks.
Garrett Rooker has been amazing today. This might be one of the better performances we've seen from him all season, and that's considering that he is the lone Canada West All-Star quarterback.
Uteck is back in the game at running back. Derek Engel at quarterback now for UBC. And he'll throw his first pass, a completion to Mark Webb for a gain of about 6 on the play. Derek Engel, in his 3rd year, an art student who comes from Grapevine, Texas. That's just outside of Dallas. So 2 Texas quarterbacks running the show offensively for this UBC Thunderbird team. 2nd and 4 for the Thunderbirds. Uteck will take the handoff. Pushing forward, getting some support from his O-lineman with the big man Giovanni Manu in the push. And they will have the first down.
And let's talk about Engel a little bit, right? Even though he's the backup quarterback, he's a key piece of this team's success, right? Coming in as a short yardage quarterback, but people often forget he won a playoff game for this UBC Thunderbirds team last year when Gray Rooker went down with that dislocated hip.
I think he was within 2 points of the Huskies at halftime last year, the Hardy Cup too, before the Huskies and the cold weather conspired against UBC. So Uteck driven back for little or no gain there as Zachariah Willems. It's a loss of 4. 2nd and 13.
And at this point, it's all about clock management. You got 5 minutes, you're up by a bunch, trip to the Vanier Cup on the line, starters are out. You just want to hold on to the ball, run the clock out as much as possible, and safely put this game away.
So a loss of 3 to make it 2nd and 13 for the Thunderbirds. Engel rolling to the wide side of the field. Ellison with the catch, and he's wrestled out of bounds for a gain of 4 to make it 3rd and 9 UBC. You know, you think about this second half starting with a 7-point margin. UBC scored, what, 16 points in a matter of minutes to really take the momentum away from the X-Men, and the X-Men never recovered.
And you know what? That's just so characteristic in general of just Canada West football, right? That's what we've been seeing all year in the Canada West Conference, right? It's often said anything can happen in the Canada West, and, you know, having quick turnarounds, having comebacks, having people blow leads, that's very characteristic of Canada West football. So not surprised to see UBC kind of pull that out of their pocket.
Flannery Fleck from the 37. It's off the upright and in. So a positive bounce for Fleck, who hooked one wide from 30 earlier in this football game, but connects from 37 yards out to make it 46-17 Thunderbirds.
My greatest thrill when we just stood still. Let me hold your hand till I had my fill. Help you to see you through.
Whatever life looks like to you, we're here for it. For life as you know it. Insurance, investments, advice. Canada Life.
Welcome back to Thunderbird Stadium in Vancouver. The X-Men will start 1st and 10 from their 35-yard line with 5 minutes to go here in regulation. Play action now. Vanier in trouble, stays up, beats the first 2 men, still on his feet. and is finally wrestled to the ground. Clark Leonard got the first lick on the quarterback, then came back for more, and Vanier looks like he wants to scrap.
Yeah.
Cirillo Brown also in on the mayhem.
Unlike on offense, UBC is actually keeping their starters in on defense, and you saw Cirillo Brown got in there, Parker got in there, Juni got in there. Vanier got hit a number of times on that play.
Wow, that's toughness. He took 3 or 4 shots. 5 defenders getting their licks in on the ex-quarterback. Loss of 9 on the play, 2nd and 19. Vanier, a tough day with 3 interceptions here today, will pass. Downfield, it's complete right near the first down marker, and Karim makes the catch for the X-Men. Zachariah Karim.
Yeah, this StFX team is not going to give up on offense. Silas Vanier is able to find Kareem, big gain, one of the few big gains they've been able to make in this half, and they're going to keep trying to chip away at this and play to the final whistle.
Kareem with the first down catch. Vanier with time over the middle. Was it intercepted? Thunderbirds say they've got it. Ryan Baker goes down for the football. They'll rule it incomplete. He was so close to making the interception, but couldn't control the football as he hit the turf.
Amazing coverage on that play. Again, Ryan Baker, probably one of the best linebackers in the nation, a former quarterback who was going to start for UBC. And let's take a look. It looks close. It looks really close. Does everything he can to hold on to possession of this.
That was close. 2nd and 10, X-Men. Silas Vanier across the middle. It's complete to Zach Hood. He'll have the first down. And now he's in some difficulty as he's helped to his feet. Jason Soriano making the tackle for the Thunderbirds.
You know, Mark, I think we got to give a lot of credit to this StFX program for the way they've been able to rebuild coming out of the pandemic. Prior to the pandemic, they only had 2 wins during the regular season. So to see them win 3 straight conference championships after how they were before the pandemic has been simply remarkable.
You know, and that pandemic was a big factor in their return to form. We'll get to that story when we come back at the 3-minute warning.
It was my greatest thrill when we just stood still. You let me hold your hand till I had my fill. Help you to see you through.
Whatever life looks like to you, we're here for it. For life as you know it. Insurance, investments, advice. Canada Life.
Back at Thunderbird Stadium, 5th-year player Alex Fedchin playing in his last university football game. He's been such a force defensively for StFX for 5 seasons. First down, Vanier throwing deep downfield for Blackwood, and it falls to the turf, incomplete. I alluded to COVID being a factor in the rebuild of this StFX football team. It was during that 2020 lost season that the Atlantic provinces had that bubble, and their players were all able to stay on campus, and they practiced the whole year, where most other U Sports teams could not come together because of the COVID rules. And they were 2-6 in 2019, came through 2020 practicing like they did, learning their systems, and were voted by the coaches poll to be the last place team in 2021. And they've been unbeaten ever since.
Yeah, and they're only the second U Sports football program since the turn of the century to record 3 straight undefeated regular seasons. Only Western's been able to do that. But that bubble that you talk about that happened during that 2020 year proved to be very, very useful in having this team be able to just rebuild.
Oh, Bussey loses the football, trying to throw it. Falls down. It slipped out of his hand, it looked like. He'll come down with the football, but, you know, Murphy's Law, everything's going wrong for these guys.
Another look at it right here, and yeah, it just doesn't come out clean, and that might be a fumble.
You know, the quarterbacks and the punters had problems in the pregame with these new Mitchell Bowl balls. They were giving them fits, trying to hold on to them, and here it just came away from the grip of the ex-quarterback. So Max Capriotti to punt for the X-Men. Redner, Breckman, and Jaden Phillips deep to return this punt from Capriotti as time continues to drain off the clock. Drives that high spiraling punt to Redner Brookman at his own 10-yard line. And he's hammered, and there's a flag on the play as bad blood begins to spill here on this football field. It's been a real nasty battle in the trenches all afternoon as the X-Men have refused to give an inch.
Yeah, and you saw on that play, it looked like Josh Connors led with his helmet.
Shoulder.
And so that might be the call. And then there's some extracurriculars after the play. Yep.
Fedchen tossing Redner Brookman to the turf as the officials confer. You know, talking about this UBC football team, when Blake Nill took over in 2015, right to the Vanier Cup, and he wins with Michael Connor, right? Since then, it's just been a slog for him, and he was talking about that to us this week. Here's the call.
Targeting, StFX number 44. 25-yard penalty.
Wow, targeting call against Connors of the X-Men. Looked like his shoulder making contact with Brookman's head, Redner Brookman's head. But Blake Nill was talking about it. So in the next year, in 2016, they lost by 3 to Calgary in the playoffs. They lost by 1 to Calgary in 17 on a last play 60-yard field goal.
Nico
and
DeFonte.
they lose in overtime in the semifinal to Saskatchewan in 2018. In 2021, they lose in the semifinals to Saskatchewan. Last year, they lose the Hardy Cup to Saskatchewan in that Ice Bowl. So it's 8 years and finally a chance to get back to the title game.
Yeah, and I think one of the more surprising things for many people last year when UBC won the Hardy Cup was that this was their first Hardy Cup since 2015, and it's very surprising because, like you just mentioned, over the years they've had so many good players. You talk about the Michael O'Connors, you talk about the Malcolm Lees, you talk about the Terrell Davises, the Stavros Katsantonis. Like, these are great players who are now doing great things in the CFL, and so to come up short every single year, right? Whether it be overtime losses or big field goals, it just shows how hard it is to get out of the Canada West Conference. This team has come close many times, but they were finally able to get over the hump this year, and it was not easy.
Yeah, and those 4 fourth quarter games, the last 2 playoff games in Can West and the last 2 games of the season. I mean, it's been a battle. They are battle tested, no question. So Engel remains at quarterback. Play action as he rolls to the short side. Fires to Ellingson again. He'll have the first down as he steps out of bounds at the 49-yard line. So some of the backups getting a chance to shine here in what we often call garbage time.
Yep, and it looks like the final 2 minutes of StFX season is winding down, and now we're looking at players such as Alex Fetchen, who are probably playing out the final, plays of their career. You see Alex Fetchen, Liam Wild, Ethan Maston, Chris Vrian, Dighton Blackett. These are all players who've been so important to StFX's success over the last couple years, and it looks like their careers are going to end without a trip to the Vanier Cup, but they've been so successful in helping this program reach 3 straight Lonely Bowl championships.
And they'll get those Andy Ganesh X rings to wear and they wear them as ambassadors across the country, and that's why this small school in Antigonish can attract players from all over the country, because they have disciples, they have teachers, they have former players who go out, and when kids see the X-ring, they ask, what's that? And they tell them the story, and they encourage the kids to go back and get their education and play their football in Antigonish.
The alumni community at StFX is so strong. I mean, Blake Nill himself is a part of it. He talks very highly of StFX, and so the community that they've built there, just in that small town, it's small, but it's just so impactful, and that's a part of why they've been able to be so successful over the last number of years.
Engel escapes pressure and connects with Webb, and they'll mark him just shy of the first down as he goes out of bounds. Mark Webb, the rookie from Ottawa, the first-year art student, on the connection from Derek Engel. 3rd and inches at the X 39-yard line.
And Mark, you talk about the last time UBC was in a Vanier Cup. Who'd they beat in the national semifinal?
Montreal. Who'd they beat in the semifinal?
StFX.
Well, the planets are aligned, aren't they?
There we go. It looks like we're kind of reliving history again.
3rd and inches, handoff. Big Digby, he holds onto the football this time and crashes forward for a first down on that gain of 3 for Tolu Walope Ayadegbe.
A look at Alex Fetchin again. The career he's had for StFX has been nothing short of stellar, and you know he's going to end his career as the program's all-time leader in sacks, and you know he's also going to end his career as arguably one of the greatest linemen in this program's history.
Led the X-Men this year with 6.5 quarterback sacks, and has stuck his nose into the fray on every down here today. 1st and 10. Engel handing off to Ayadegbe. He finds open field and crashes for a first down, but there's a flag in the defensive backfield. Ayadegbe seemed to motion to his face mask. This is coming back, though. It'll be a holding call against the Thunderbirds.
Before yards per game. Hold it. UBC number 76. 10-yard penalty. Replay first down.
And we talk about Fetchin. We also got to talk about the lineman that he went up against today, and that's Giovanni Manu. And Manu and Theo Benedict, number 72, again, like we said throughout the broadcast, they've received so much NFL attention this season. Benedict himself, you know, Canada West Lineman of the Year for the 2nd consecutive year. He was at the East-West Shrine game last year, and you know, to have over 15 NFL teams visit the campus this season to see these 2 young men practice is something that rarely happens in youth sports football.
And didn't Benedict have the highest scores of all the offensive linemen at the Shrine?
Yep.
Yeah. 1st and 20. Ayadegbe now trying to negotiate the interior, and he's brought down by 5th-year man Dighton Blackett for a short gain on the play. Blackett and Fetchin and these 5th-year men not giving up, not giving an inch. You take a look at that big left tackle, Giovanni Manu from Pitt Meadows in his 4th year, 6'8", 350. The NFL just drooling over this man. 15 scouts have been to UBC this year. The Colts were here this week.
They said the Colts were there last week. The Chicago Bears have come multiple times this season and see him as an NFC North type of guy. We'll see if these guys get an NFL opportunity once their careers wrap up at UBC.
2nd and 18, play action now. Engel looking at the end zone, rolls to his left now. He'll run with the football, and Engel, look out, will step out of bounds. Mark it a gain of 7 for the Texas quarterback.
Another look there at Theo Benedict, 2-time Lineman of the Year.
6'7", 305. His parents are both lawyers. His mom's the dean of the law school, and she was mad, Blake Nill said, at him because she did everything, she said, to keep her boy out of football.
Apparently he was a soccer kid?
He's a soccer kid. He was a soccer goalie, I think. And now he's got an NFL opportunity. And his mom apparently is one of the loudest in the stands.
She's
converted.
Yes, she's become a football mom.
So Flannery Fleck with a low line drive punt that bounces into the end zone, and Batimbe will not get out, so a punt single from Flannery Fleck to make it 47-17. The final seconds of this football game. Flannery Fleck, what a story, as he was rejected by Queens, rejected by Carleton, made his way to UBC, and he's going to the Vanier Cup, was an all-star in the Can West this year, and has the confidence of this man, Blake Nill.
He's been such a huge difference maker for this team. There were times earlier on in the season when this UBC team was learning, finding their groove. You got a returning Garrett Rooker. You have Sam Davenport, who's new to the offense and just transferring to SFU. And in times where they couldn't finish drives but were in field goal range, they always turn to Kieran Flannery Fleck to put points on the board. He's been a huge piece of this team's success.
Fania airing it out down the field and off the hands of Ben Sangmua, and incomplete as the X-Men console themselves on the sideline. Liam Wild, one of the fifth-year players who'll be leaving the game, wants some privacy on the X bench in this emotional time for him.
Yeah, they've been through a lot, right? You talk about 3 straight Loney Bowls, 3 straight conference championships, 3 straight appearances in the national semifinal. This is a program that's chipping away at something more than just a conference championship. They are clearly trying to do the best they can to end this drought that AUS teams seemingly have faced in the national semifinal dating back to 2007.
Malcolm Bussey with a gain of 2. Coming into this game, not clearly healthy enough to perform. Now he's limping his way off the field. Sam Davenport, again, a fixture in this offense with 2 touchdown catches. The hero 1 week ago in the Hardy Cup. Blake Nill addressing his sideline right now in the dying seconds of this Mitchell Bowl.
And it's so fitting that Blake Nill defeats a team from the AUS on his way back to the Vanier Cup, considering he made his career in the AUS when he was the head coach of the SMU Huskies. He helped build that team to national prominence, winning multiple Vanier Cups, and after, of course, leaving to Calgary, doing the same thing, rebuilding that program and then rebuilding this UBC program as well.
This will be the last play of the football game. Malcolm Bussey takes the football, rather Caleb Fogarty with the carry, and that will be the final play of the football game. Blake Nill leads his UBC Thunderbirds back to the Vanier Cup for the first time in 8 years, for the first time after they won it in his first year as head coach at UBC in 2015. Defeating the school that he started his coaching career with, the StFX X-Men, and that man, Garrett Rooker, with a tremendous performance. 22 of 26 for 303 yards. Are you kidding me? 4 incompletions in the football game. He batted 100 in the second half and put away these pesky X-Men.
The second half of Garrett Rooker's game today was arguably his best second half of the season, probably his best second half of his career at UBC. 100%. When it comes to passing, not throwing any incompletions and putting more points on the board to ultimately put this game away and put it out of reach.
4 touchdown passes, no interceptions for the Texan Garrett Rooker, leading his team to victory here today. And for the X-Men, well, this unbeaten team in 3 regular seasons of the AOS continue to have their challenges and their struggles on the national stage in these bowl games as they go down to defeat for the 3rd year in a row in the national semifinals.
Yeah, and for StFX, again, this is a program that's going to continue chipping away at it. We talked to Gary Waterman, and he said he looked back at the last 10 programs to win a Vanier Cup to try and predict who they will be facing in the national semifinal. He's onto something. He's onto something. He's clearly gotten this program back to national prominence. This is their 3rd consecutive time on the national stage, and I think for them it's about, again, continuing to try to push through to a Vanier Cup and break this AUS drought that's existed for 17 seasons.
So Garrett Rooker leading his Thunderbirds to the Vanier Cup, defeating the StFX X-Men here today in convincing fashion with a very strong second half. They will go on to meet the Montreal Carabins, who easily prevailed over the Western Mustangs in the Uteck Bowl. Let's go down to the sidelines, and here's UBC head coach Blake Nill. Well, Blake, this was mission accomplished for you. 8 years after you won the Vanier Cup in your first year as the Thunderbirds head coach, you're taking your team back. How does it feel?
Feels great. You know, it's been a challenge for us most of the year. Very tough conference, every game down to the, the second half, fourth quarter. It's good to, reach our goal and get a chance to compete for a national championship.
What can you say about your quarterback? I mean, what a performance here today. 4 touchdown passes by Garrett Rooker, 22 of 26 through the air, and I think in the second half he was simply perfect.
He's been very solid for us all year. Very calm, composed young man. Typically makes great reads and typically gets the ball in the hands of the receivers.
And Blake, your former team, the place where you started your coaching career, StFX, they stayed with you for the first half. What do you have to say about their performance here today?
StFX is a very special place for me and my family. In fact, there's coaches on the staff. We were all together in 1996 when we went to the national championship with that crew, and it's bittersweet actually for me. I care a lot about the school. I didn't wear my X-ring today. I probably should have, but they hold a special place in my heart, and I'm always proud to advocate and support St. Francis Xavier University.
Blake, you're gracious in victory. Congratulations, and we'll see you 1 week from today in Kingston at the Vanier Cup.
Thank you very much.
Blake Nill, the head coach of the victorious UBC Thunderbirds, and his Texas quarterback Garrett Rooker, with a championship performance for the ages here today, leading his team to the championship game in Canadian football.
Yeah, Rooker, I think what can't be said enough about him is how over the last 3 years he's learned the Canadian game. This is a kid that grew up playing Texas football, right? He lived, slept, and breathed football, but American football. So for him to come north of the border for his college days and be able to learn the Canadian game to the point where not only is he a starting quarterback in this country, but a Canada West All-Star and arguably one of the best quarterbacks in this country, in a quarterback class that features people such as Evan Hillock, Jackson Tuchinski, Taylor Elgersma. For Garrett Rooker to be there in the same conversation with those men goes to show how much growth he's shown over the last couple of years.
And he came here as much for the education as for the football, and the chance to hoist the Mitchell Bowl, which will be presented momentarily on the field here at Thunderbird Stadium to these Thunderbirds who we talked about have been through so many agonizing defeats, last-minute defeats, so close to getting out of the Canada West Conference. And it took them 8 years after winning the title in 2015 under Blake Nill to do it again. What a year it's been, a battle, a 6-2 record. Getting through Manitoba and Alberta in the Hardy Cup playoffs and the Hardy Cup final.
They even lost to Calgary 1 week.
Lost to Calgary, an 0-5 team at one point.
Yeah. This has definitely been one of the hardest fought.
Mitchell Townsend wanted to touch the cup, and he was told to keep his hands off it right now. What a great sight to see these young men.
22, Jackson Cirillo Brown.
Jackson Cirillo Brown, great linebacker, the Nike Defensive Player of the Game. 8 tackles and a sack in this football game. He was a force all afternoon.
Yeah, he's been a force all season, Canada West All-Star, and he's been very pivotal in coming off the edge and applying a lot of pressure to Silas Vanier.
Des Thunderbirds de UBC, le numéro 11, Garrett Rooker.
Garrett Rooker
from your UBC Thunderbirds.
Quarterback is the Nike Offensive Player of the Game
Garrett
with
Rooker.
303 yards passing, 4 touchdowns and no interceptions.
Was it really a surprise?
No.
He just played the greatest second half of football of his career. Again, no incompletions, only 4 incompletions for the entire game. Over 300 yards, 4 touchdowns, the greatest performance we've seen from Garrett Rooker today. He's getting better as the weeks go by.
And now the presentation of the Mitchell Bowl to the victorious UBC Thunderbirds.
Shelby Bowl de la famille Mitchell pour la remise de la Coupe Mitchell 2023 Thunderbirds de UBC.
Doug Mitchell's granddaughter making the presentation to Mitchell Townsend, one of the captains and the ringleader of this UBC defense. They're going to the Vanier Cup to face the Montreal Carabins, the team they beat 8 years ago for the national title.
And we're basically being set up now for an amazing Vanier Cup matchup. You have this Montreal team that was a beast in the RSEQ, swept Laval this year and dominated Western today, and now you have this battle-tested UBC team that got through this intense Canada West Conference and now are en route to a national championship. This is going to be an amazing meetup in the Vanier Cup next week in Kingston.
So Blake Nill, who has won the Vanier Cup 3 times, twice with St. Mary's, once with UBC, is going back for a 4th. And he'll have his hands full against the Montreal Carabins, who prevailed handily against the Western Mustangs here today in the Uteck Bowl in Montreal. The final score there, 29-3, and the turnover-prone Mustangs devastated by the Carabins.
Yeah, the Carabins were able, again, dominated the Western Mustangs. And you look at the playoff bracket, you look in the OUA, Western was able to get through Laurier, ran into Montreal. Montreal was able to dominate Laval. And of course, StFX was able to get through Bishops, and UBC was able to get past Alberta. But of course, today in these 2 national semifinals, it was 2 extremely dominant performances from the eventual national semifinal winners to link up next week in the Vanier Cup.
Well, the flag flies over the victorious UBC Thunderbirds. They dominate by 30 here today and dispatch the gritty StFX X-Men in the 21st Mitchell Bowl. This combination for 2 touchdowns. Rooker to Davenport. McBean was impossible to cover. Vanier was tough as nails. But turnovers turned the tide for the X-Men in the second half. And the Thunderbirds made them pay for it. Touchdown return on the punt for Redner Brookman, and it's over. UBC victorious in the Mitchell Bowl.